All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Welcome in. The REMINGTOM pod is live. The new Metro album is live, of course, and we're going to fire it up. We're going to listen to it tonight. A futuristic summer chat. Hey, yo, who knew that? Everybody knows summer starts in August. Everybody's got that marked at their calendars. Start of summer. Everybody knows summer starts after the NFL season. Perfect summer sport, the NFL chat. Hey, yo, Metro calls his album Futuristic Summa. It drops it after the first NFL game of the season. I don't know, technically not. But we did get NFL in July, Christmas in July, chat. Hey, yo, Chargers versus Lions? I guess the game itself wasn't crazy. I guess also I missed this one myself. I actually didn't see the game. Spoiler alert. It is what it is. But, of course, we fired up Instagram. We saw the Trey Lance hype, and I was like, I knew it. Trey Lance was the right pick all along. It is what it is. But, yeah. And unlike Summer League, because Summer League, hey, yo. It is what it is. But unlike Summer League, when I missed some of the games for that, it was like, okay, this is good. We actually have a life. But for the Hall of Fame game, it was like, oh, I kind of was ready to sit down and watch a little NFL. And I don't know, Trey Lance, I feel like the last couple of years, as much as the entirety of the preseason hasn't quite risen to the level of interesting quite yet, like I feel like the Hall of Fame game itself has at least had a couple of quarterbacks in it. Over the last couple of years, it was interesting. Did Trubisky play in the Hall of Fame last year? Maybe, I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, lock it in. He's been in the game he's been in one of the last couple of games over the past couple of years. Mitchell Trubisky has played, but that's an interesting type of guy. I don't know if Trey Lance at this point has more. Would he start sort of? I mean, yeah, not compared to Mitchell Trubisky right now, but even Mitchell Trubisky right pre that Bears trade when he starts to go into that second phase, and you're going to actually see him back in the Hall of Fame game as well. Because remember, he did make a Pro Bowl, so he would have at least moved away from Mitchell Trubisky has to play in the Hall of Fame game status. But then, of course, he ended up back there. Shout out though. But like we're saying, it's all for the best, because now the Hall of Fame game is interesting when a guy like Mitchell Trubisky plays or a guy like Trey Lance. So shout out. I mean, make no mistake, we've been drafting outside of the year where nobody outside of Kenny Pickett went in the first round. We've been drafting quarterbacks like crazy. So there are some quarterbacks to go around. But hopefully in a couple of years, it's not like, oh, Anthony Richardson on the Bengals sorry, Bengals. Yeah. Hey, we don't know what happened. What kind of trade did Ballard just save his job with if Anthony Richardson was on the Bengals? And, who knows what happens with Burrow at that point. But it's like, oh, Anthony Richardson's second team, and in the Hall of Fame game, he looks kind of, Anthony Richardson to the Cowboys, chat? Hey, yo. Whoa. Lock that in at some point. But Anthony Richardson playing for the Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game? I don't know. But is there a history here? Let's see. Does Pro Football Reference? It is what it is, chat. The Hall of Fame game. They knew that the fans were ready for the NFL in July. It is what it is. They've been, of course, testing the waters with expanding the schedule. And they eliminated some of the preseason stuff, but to maybe allow them to add more weeks in at some point, because make no mistake, they know they're going to want to do it. So, pause. But, okay, so it turns out there's no preseason page? Oh, chat. Closed out of the tabs early. It is what it is. We still have the internet up, just the camera. Oh, let me get the camera back up and rolling, chat. Timeout! It is what it is. We're almost back up and going. There we are. Okay. We are back in firing. But if we were able to find a history of the Hall of Fame game, I feel like, again, there might be a couple of quarterbacks in the last couple of games where maybe it's like at one point this guy had some kind of stock. And let's see, did we get a Hendon Hooker performance from the Detroit Lions? Because the Detroit fans, I mean, they still have the Hendon Hooker stock. I don't know if the timelines are going to work out. Hendon Hooker's going to be 35 by the time Jared Goff. Hendon Hooker might be as old as Jared Goff. I know. I think it makes sense, but it's close. The fact that I was like, wait a second, is it? Are they? But I don't know. It is what it is. I feel like people were saying he was like a 28-year-old rookie. Then it was like, wait a second, he's only like 22. Like, what's going on here? But no, it's actually like, it is what it is. Oh, Kyle Allen was 9 for 14, 2 picks. See, Kyle Allen is actually another, like a Kyle Allen, Trey Lance. If that's week 13, that's not ideal. But if that's the Hall of Fame game, July 31st, if that's just, if that's the UFL, Chet, hey, yo, there might be maybe at some point room for a summer football league. If the talent, and that's, we don't want to say it's fully driven by the quarterback position, but that's really kind of what it is, because to be honest, they're just at this point as well. Again, it would need to be the spillover effect, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's a pause or not, but it would need to be there's guys that need opportunities outside of the NFL. And at this point, if guys are successful in the UFL or in whatever, if there's other, do we have to look up other professional sports leagues? Well, there is like the arena football and all that different stuff. I was thinking more like what's going on internationally. But besides the Canadian League, like Europe, I don't know what's going on in Australian football. I guess rugby as well, but you don't really hear about like a quarterback from a rugby league. That's more like a fullback, a linebacker from the rugby league. Hey, yo. But a quarterback from the rugby league would be interesting. I don't know. We're bringing back like a wildcat triple option type team. It is what it is. But again, if there was a guy that was being super successful in an outside professional league, we all just know he would go. And that's, of course, the same with the NBA. But it's a little bit different. Because of the specificness of the position, of course. But again, there still is with basketball as well too. Like it is what it is with the sport. Like there's a career longevity that can last a little bit. Again, with the big three, like you can't really have a big three per se with the NFL. Maybe I guess you could with like a flag football or something along those lines. Maybe like a AI sort of simulation Madden league. I don't know what, just like a passings, like 7-on-7. Yeah, it would just have to be flag football at this point. I don't know if we haven't advanced the non-tackle football technology past that. I don't think. But is there there's not like a laser tag football innovation? Do we have to go to the Chat GPT early and cook up a new way to play football for like old people? I don't know, Chat. But again, if like a guy like Valanciunas can still make equal money-ish and have pick his living situation in Europe if he wants to, and there is still options that make sense for certain guys outside of the NBA, even a low-level starting quarterback. I'm assuming at this point the paychecks are going to be insane. And you think even for the NBA as well, too. We know the contracts there are insane. But again, for certain levels of guys, it does start to play into, other leagues around the world as well, too. But if you're a quarterback, you're going to take the opportunity and just the marketing and all. I mean, we know. If the NFL is just going to find that guy, and he's not going to be around for that league to benefit off of his level of play. I guess it's the long way of saying it. But I guess there could be a point where maybe, again, I'm not saying that it's everybody's high, it's like, oh, there's three former all-pro guys that are currently like kind of Pro Bowl level playing in the UFL or whatever. I'm not saying, I don't know what level it rises to, but there could be, again, enough talented guys where even some of the, and maybe this is just what happens as well too, is as you become a fan, you just like, oh, what are all these guys that I used to think that they'd be just awesome pros and they never had careers? But there's even still like a bunch of, the top recruited guys that, even like our guy, Iamala, who's the Tennessee quarterback, and I guess he's not the Tennessee quarterback anymore, but I think, is that what he's going to be known as right now, as the Tennessee quarterback? That's the problem, is his biggest moment right now is, unfortunately, we're not calling him out. I'm just saying what the storyline is. I feel like if you talk to people about his career, I guess here, we'll look up his names so you guys know who we're talking about if you're watching this. But shout out to the listeners, of course. You can find him find the live streams on Spotify and Apple afterwards on the podcast platforms if you guys want to access them over there. But of course, if you're watching this live, or if you're, I guess Spotify has the video as well too. But yeah, and where is he at? Is he still at Tennessee, I guess? UCLA? Okay, so I guess I don't remember who UCLA's coaching staff is, but I do always kind of like, and I guess, Pac-12. I don't know what to think about the style, because I guess shout out to our guy Russillo. That was always the nice thing. He said that was one of the great things about conferences. I said our guy Russillo, hey, It is as fans, he's our guy in that type of way. But shout out Rosillo. Call in if we'll be guys with Rosillo. It is what it is. But hey, pause. IT, take that out. But yeah, he always says that there's the stylistic differences in each of the conferences makes it unique, and it's fun to project some of those guys, of course, in those different systems, and especially some of the more quarterback, in the Pac-12, some of the more QB beneficial ones. Chip Kelly had a little UCLA run in there where it's like, Nico, Chip Kelly, like maybe he puts up some good stats at UCLA, and I think maybe that's part of the reason for going there, but. Yeah, like even him, he might. Will Nico be a Hall of Fame game legend at some point, Chad? Hopefully not. Hey, I assume that, he's still got a shot. But, again, that's the type of guy. And maybe this is when maybe it's just the fan, the guys that you're interested in. You're like, okay, I'm the niche audience for Trey Lance in a Hall of Fame game. But, the NFL has those the biggest niche audience, and make no mistake, Chad, I mean, I'm probably the only guy in the world that was like, oh, this quarterback room I actually want to see play in a preseason game. Like if I had actually known DJ Uiagalelei was on the Chargers, like make no mistake, I would have been plastered in front of the pause. Hey, IT, we're going wild right now. It is what it is. We would have just been right in front of the TV, just watching the game, chat, watching the game. That's all it is. But 2 for 3 for 25. I guess it didn't really get the playing time. Trey Lance, so electric, Chet. You can't take him out. It is what it is. 13 for 20. And this is perfect as well, too. Again, you have to think about, the level of talent that as much as he was still needing development as a passer, like, again, as an athlete, like we're talking about a guy that was a former top 5 pick in the NFL draft. Like he's just giving him a chance to go out there against the preseason guys. Like you think that's going to go pretty good. Hampton 2 for 9. So Vidal was, I think I'm going to say Vidal was there last year, right? I want to say that he was on our fantasy team at some point. Yeah, shout out. Maybe we looked at him on the waiver wire. Maybe there was like a debate between a couple Chargers running backs, and I don't remember which one we ended up with on the waiver wire. But 43 carries last year, about 3.5 yards carry, so not necessarily, popping off the page. But he is getting more carries, and Haskins getting more. I guess, a lot of guys getting more carries than Hampton as well, and our guy Hines as well. So shout out. But you kind of, I think, know his role. Is number 310 correct, chat? Do we have to look up Hines in the Pro Bowl or in the Did he make a Pro Bowl at one point? He might have been a Pro Bowler as a like a punt returner or something. No disrespect. Like I mean, he obviously had the electric special teams plays for the Bills, if I'm not mistaken, after the DeMar Hamlin stuff. So let's see here. Chargers, Nyheim Hines Chargers. Is he number 310? Do we have an image confirmation that is true, or just the ESPN tweaking? Shout out. So I mean, you love to see the respect for the Colts run in here. I don't know why there's just a random picture of Matt Ryan traumatizing us. It is what it is. Shout out to Matt Ryan. The man was trying his best. It's not all his fault, but it is what it is. You get older, you get a more understanding. When you're a kid, you're just like, screw that guy. He made our team worse. Then you're like, poor Matt Ryan. The man has stood no chance. But so Hines, I think he's going to be more of a fun gadget guy, special teamer. But in a way, I guess he could kind of play. I guess we're not necessarily. I didn't watch too many Hampton highlights. I don't know. I feel like he was getting a little bit more the dual threat vibe than a guy like Ginty, but I feel like he is also sort of a bruiser running back as well too. So I don't know if Hines would necessarily. Maybe Haskins is like sneaky the guy. And again, here, what do we got for what's our guy Vidal? 5'8", 215. So more like a Deuce Vaughn. I'm not sure, but maybe Haskins is more like the Hampton type running back. And 6 for 34. I don't know if his 6 carries were like more crazy than Hampton's 2 carries, but still interesting to monitor. And I guess DJ Uiagalelei 3 carries minus 5 yards. So 2 for 3 is only a little bit of the story. Harbaugh said if you don't see an open pass, just take the sack or try to run around. I don't know what the strategy was there for coaching Uiagalelei, but I assume that we might see him more in the preseason if Trey Lance doesn't play. Maybe Trey Lance does play and just proves that he's just a stud, preseason stud. It's like, okay, this is a sustained run. Trey Lance has, and I guess, now with the Hall of Fame, he'll have the 4 preseason games compared to the rest of, the league will have 3. So he's like, oh, Trey Lance has a run of 4 preseason games where he looks good. You have to trade for him. But that was something I was thinking about as well, too, today. Because, again, a guy like Richardson, and I don't know if there is stuff about changing scenery and things like that, just fresh reset that'll, be good for a guy's career and, confidence and all different stuff. But again, Trey Lance was that former top 5 pick. Was he number 3 specifically? I think, right? Because they traded up for him. But it was, and I don't remember exactly the draft that it was in, but I think it was the Lawrence Wilson Trey Lance draft, right? And then Fields and Mac Jones were in the end of the lottery. Hey, yo. But he does have that level of hype. So I don't know if you're going to ever get that kind of recover that trade value for him per se. And I mean, again, the 49ers obviously can't at this point. He's not on the team. And I guess the Cowboys as well, too. It's a couple of stops at this point. But the idea of giving that guy, maybe that's the guy you look for in these, like I'm saying, in these preseason type scenarios to, one, of course, have in like the backup role, like we're saying, a guy like Mitchell Trubisky over in Buffalo. But, there is an interesting trade value thing with Lance now that I think could potentially happen, where he played in the regular season, he played in the preseason, like he looked kind of decent. He has that somewhat level of, whatever your draft room, I guess, thought about. There's a potential that, I guess, re-saying it, there's a potential that your draft room is really in on him, depending on which team it is. So if you are a quarterback needy team at some point, or just like let's make a move and get feisty type team, maybe Trey Lance is just like a low cost type move that you can make. And the Chargers, of course, that would be a more not the most beneficial way for them to obviously benefit, because Herbert is one of those sneaky guys. Like, there is a chance also that Trey Lance just does start like 4 games next year for the Chargers because Herbert gets hurt. And it's unfortunate, but maybe the Chargers' offensive line getting healthy and more improved, and Harbaugh continuing to build that up, like maybe that'll keep him healthy. But Herbert just feels like there's a wrist or a rib injury or something that's just gonna keep him out for a month in the middle of the year, and then we're gonna forget that the Chargers are like a fun team. But Trey Lance, so they could definitely, of course, keep Trey Lance around for that type of situation. But you also have DJ Uiagalelei for that just in case, right, Chad? Hey, yo, so, you can't have 2 awesome backup quarterbacks. What's the point? But if the price gets to a decent, like, if it's like a 6th, a 7th round pick, I don't know, maybe teams really, that's crazy value for a backup quarterback, I don't know, and you just have to do that trade. But I was like, okay, at that point, I would rather keep him around. But the Cowboys gave up a 4th for him. I guess the Chargers didn't. I don't think they traded for him, right? I'm guessing that would have been a free agency thing. It's just him signing with the team. So if they were able to get a 4, I don't know if this performance warrants a 3rd round pick, but I don't know. I guess the point is you never know how panicky teams get or how they value, because the NFL trade chart is really weird at this point. And maybe the Cowboys trade for him back as well, too. You never know. You just call the Cowboys back up and say, see what you passed on in free agency? You could have re-signed your guy. Give us a 4th round pick again. Jerry Jones like, okay, fine. Another 4th round pick for Trey Lance. Call it in. But fun performance. I mean, efficient as well. I get no picks in there, so I guess we haven't seen it. But I don't honestly want to watch. I don't want to watch him just check down the whole game and be like, oh, great offense and easy moves, light defense, and just like, okay, obviously, he should have had at least a decent performance in that type of situation. But on the other side, like Kyle Allen, I mean, Kyle Allen's had more NFL run than Trey Lance. Make no mistake. How many games has Kyle Allen played? Has Kyle Allen started 50 games in his NFL career? He's been in the league since 2018. Hey, yo, shout out. The man is got to be collecting some money. Okay, it's 31 games at this point, so not quite. I guess it's felt like 50. It's 19 games started. Hey, yo. So in QB years, one Kyle Allen game is worth 2 normal QB games. I don't know, but I guess that would sound like a good thing, honestly. Or would it? I don't know. Would it be like one? I guess no. Like 1/2 being like 1 game would obviously be great. So yeah, 1 game being 2 Cool. No, again, because one game being 2 quarterback games would be crazy stats. So yeah, that would be like 800 yards in one game. So I guess, but one half being one game would also be really good. So I can't do football math, chat. Hey, yo, it is what it is. But regardless, Kyle Allen has started 19 games. Point being in his NFL career, 7 for 12. But Trey Lance, I mean, shout out our guy. And, overhyping Trey Lance season. It is what it is. Welcome to August, chat. But 12? Oh, well, yeah, 12 games. 5 games. Trey Lance. Okay, Chad, shout out. So about, half as many games and appearances, and then about a third, fourth as many starts as our guy Kyle Allen. So again, Kyle Allen's had a couple more seasons. I don't know if Trey Lance is actually, making more appearances than Kyle Allen. But Hendon Hooker, 3 for 6 and a pick is not great as well, too. Again, for the Lions fans, I think that's a tough one because I think you don't necessarily need Hendon Hooker to be good, obviously. Jared Goff is a fine quarterback as long as I think, the offensive stuff with how do they move on outside of Ben Johnson is a little bit more interesting than just what happens between Hendon Hooker in the future and, Jared Goff. But it is one of those things that I think a sort of middle round pick. He was maybe not even a middle round pick. He might have been like a second or third round pick. So there is a little value there, of course, in taking it. But it was one of those moves that's like, are we a good franchise now? And they are definitely, of course, trending in that way. But again, Jared Goff was a trade that didn't seem like it was working out, but then flipped around and the whole culture turned around and now everything is obviously working out and they're one of the more solid, one of the better teams in the league. But this is like, okay, we identified a quarterback. We at least, and not to say that they got like, okay, he's going to be, multi-time All-Pro. But again, if there was a serviceable level starter, Kirk Cousins type career that he could have had as a middle quarterback or, I don't know, earnings potential wise, but shout out, he would love to, his agent's like, you're going to make as much money as Kirk Cousins. He's like, sign me up. But, maybe there's some impact level and, even still, again, Kirk Cousins, as much as you want to, it's still, there is still a quality to have 8 wins at some point. So I don't know if you want that to be, the problem is it's like, okay, do you want that to be the 7th best quarterback in the league? But if it's like the 14th best quarterback in the league, then it's, it's like, okay, league's doing pretty good. But, so maybe it was like, okay, can we get and just draft a really, really good quarterback? And I guess they drafted Stafford for all those years as well, too. So that was the one thing that the franchise had actually gotten right there for a long time. But that's another one, a number 1 overall pick, kind of an obvious guy. Like, we don't really ever get to think about Stafford in that type of way because I think the Lions, again, they're just like the wins total never really turned around in a massive way. He never was able to, and now we, of course, a couple years removed from the Super Bowl, are able to look at the Matt Stafford career in total a little bit differently. But in terms of the drafting type stuff, and again, because he never impacted the team, and I say he never impacted the team. That's crazy, obviously. That's not what I mean. I mean, the obviously the playoff thing just never aligned with him on the roster in that timeline. And the trade was a big reason why they were able, again, with the picks they got back and stuff, why they were able to become a winning team. They were able to manage that trade very, very well. But regardless, I guess the point being, he never gets brought up in that conversation like, oh, who are the surefire number 1 overall picks? And I guess there was maybe some interception stuff earlier on and some health stuff as well, too, for sure. Like, he definitely was not healthy. So I guess when we're talking surefire, that's a big, I don't want to necessarily like overlook that if we're having a real conversation. We really have, it's like we have to make one choice at the end of the day. It's like, oh, Andrew Luck or, speaking of health, chat, hey, Andrew Luck or Matt Stafford. But, I guess if it just in the greater debates, whoever you throw out there, you're always going to have the, Stafford. But then again, that could just go to the fact that he's just getting absolutely just destroyed by the fact that the Lions are just not necessarily building it. It's just him and Calvin Johnson out there. And, they had a couple other really good players throughout as well, too. Make no mistake. But just never the top to bottom roster, obviously, to quite compete. But, again, but he is one of those guys where it's like Detroit was not really going to mess that one up at that point. Like, I honestly don't even remember who else was in Stafford's draft from a quarterback standpoint. I don't know if that's just... Is that the Sanchez draft? So maybe that's... Is that why? But yeah, so Stafford, shout out, probably still the best quarterback, if not just the best player straight up from the 2009 draft. But yeah, there wasn't any guy. So Sanchez at 5, but even in the moment, like, so they're still taking Sanchez pretty high. I guess I was gonna say in the moment he wasn't the recruit as Stafford, which is true, but I don't want to necessarily say that it's like, okay, he was too far off. But and then you go Josh Freeman at 17. So honestly, chat, I know the 09 draft was not great, but looking back at the names, I like it. Hey yo, it is what it is. Josh Freeman, let's run that career back 10 times. I don't know what else what were we gonna cook up on the chat GPT earlier? I forget the name of something, but we're gonna rerun Josh Freeman's career back on the chat GPT. What team can we draft him to make this go better? Because it did feel like, and that's where you buy in on some of these guys as well too, is when you, and I guess not, did we just like throw out a name? They're like, oh, what's the other side? Hey, pew pew, drive-by shooting. But where you get a guy like Purdy in the shout out to Purdy. We're pro Purdy, so I feel like again, check the tapes. But I can say this, and it's not going to change the fact that I still obviously like him as a player. But it doesn't change the fact as well too that he entered the NFL into a really good system, and that's always going to be a thing that is going to be attributed to his development. So I guess if he has the sort of the Brady to Tampa would be crazy, but I guess if he has the move to a different situation where he's able to prove outside of Shanahan that he still has that really good production as a quarterback, or if he just continues to elevate his game under Shanahan as well too, and it's like, oh, now he's taking more responsibilities and improvising things and now forcing Shanahan, because even Matt Ryan to some degree, and I guess we weren't quite the I don't know, the knowledgeable NFL fan, but even still back then, it's like, okay, we're even less knowledgeable about some of the stuff, or even knowing a little bit what to pay attention to. But I just don't know like how much greater responsibility Matt Ryan would have had in the 2016 Falcons team outside of what Shanahan was feeding him just for the offense. But that would have been his best quarterback, you would have assumed, in terms of accomplishing that stuff. He was there with RG3, right? I'm going to forget the timeline of all of his quarterbacks that he played with or coached. And RG3, of course, the talent to be able to improvise and create plays and all different stuff. Like, he would be the most talented in that. But some of the, and I would assume RG3 was a really smart quarterback as well too. We know that some injuries and stuff were more, and I guess his his ability to I guess I'm saying like playbook smart. Obviously, he wasn't necessarily like get that slide smart, get out of bounds type smart, unfortunately. But I guess we're the roundabout way of saying it felt like Josh Freeman elevated the Tampa Bay Bucks a little bit there in that 2010 season. I think there's some underrated talent on that team as well too. Maybe it was like Gerald McCoy on the team at this point. I don't know if Levante David was around there, some of those young defensive guys at that point. But it did feel like it was like, okay, are they playing a little bit? And yeah, I guess here, look at 5 fourth quarter comebacks on the old Pro Football Reference. So there was a clutchness element to him that one year. So that's what I'm saying. It's not just, Josh Freeman was coached up, not like Josh Freeman's Nick Mullins, shout out, hey, just another man down chat, hey, yo. But, all this to say that we were a fan of the 2010 Josh Freeman season. So we're still holding out hope. If Josh Freeman, how old Josh Freeman, chat? Back to the Josh Freeman page. Can he play in the Hall of Fame game right now? Sign him up. 37? His last team was the Colts. I mean, Chris Ballard loves 30, old 30-plus-year-old quarterbacks. Quarterbacks that are almost 40. Ballard says, I will give you 20-plus a year to send you off into retirement for. I mean, Matt Ryan, I guess Carson Wentz wasn't necessarily 30 in age, but he was 37 in spirit when he was playing for Indianapolis. Make no mistake, he was playing like a guy that was at the end of his career. So, Josh Freeman back to the Colts. I think it's in play, chat. Next year when the Colts are in the Hall of Fame game, Josh Freeman starting? I would be a fan. I guess it would be 38. I guess, 38-year-old Josh Freeman at that point, but it doesn't matter. He's still within the Ballard window. I think Ballard's like Brady played till he's 45? Like, we're good. We'll take any quarterback, up till the age of 45. But I guess, and just because of the first round quarterbacks, I don't know who else was going to be the top quarterbacks in this draft. But Curtis Painter was so this is the tough quarterback draft, chat. Hey, yo, I mean, there's only like 7 quarterbacks taken. overall. Which, again, so 3 in round 1, 2 in round 6, 1 in round 4. Hey, yo. And then Edelman. I think Edelman was a college quarterback. They moved him to receiver. Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has the... If Pat McAfee is top 10 in the draft class in pass yards, chat, hey, yo. Should we DM the McAfee show? I feel like they... I mean, if anybody knows all of his career stats, it'd be Pat McAfee. Shout out. But, you know, that's a kind of a little, I was going to say a nugget, but, you know, pause. Hey, yo. But, and you got Morstead at 18, so, you know, some good special teams performances here. So they've only got Pat McAfee listed as an official 1 for 2. It feels like he had more passes than that, but he definitely had more highlight plays, for sure. Edelman 6 for 6. The best quarterback in the class was Julian Edelman, actually. And he won the most Super Bowls as well, too. And Stafford never actually won the Super Bowl MVP. Edelman won the Super Bowl. So Edelman is actually the best quarterback in the class. Again, he's just a receiver. So after that, then it's Matt Stafford. But Mark Sanchez, yeah, so Mark Sanchez, Curtis Painter, and Keith Knoll, and Stephen McGee. I mean, chat, lock it in. Give me Josh Freeman, baby. I didn't expect us to do an 09 redraft, but we're taking Josh Freeman in the top 10. Hey, yo. Who else is in this class, honestly? At this point, Josh Freeman might be in the top 10. Oh, you got Mike Wallace in here. Okay, chat. Mike Wallace was fun. I mean, we'll take Mike Wallace in 2025. I mean, he had a Dolphins run. That's kind of a fun, you know, the lineage of Dolphins receivers. You know, I know we're leaving out all the 80s guys and stuff, but Mike Wallace, Tyreek Hill, the speed lineage of some of those guys. I know he's in the Steelers lineage as well, too. But I guess him and Mike McDaniels, shout out, we're still pro McDaniels. We're pro his offense, obviously. If him as a head coach, we'll see. But, you know, he's obviously a great offensive coordinator. I mean, he had a great offensive coordinator run in San Francisco. And, again, his offenses has still been decent in Miami. But, you know, once you are into the coaching role, maybe he's a little, you know, a little less focused on the offense, obviously, than he has been in the past. But if he were zeroing in on that, then he'd be fine. Ray Maluga? So, yeah, it might be a second before we get to Josh Freeman on the redraft. But, again, he's a quarterback. So, the importance of that. Who knows? Oh, Michael Orr. Whoa. The Blindside draft. Hey, yo, chat. 2009. Shout out Sandra Bullock. Who cares if the movie's fake? Sandra Bullock's go, chat. It is what it is. You know? I guess, you know, Sandra Bullock playing a fictional character, not new. So just because we have to change the fact that it used to be a real person, it's like, okay. You know, that's fine. But, I don't know. Do we have to go back and revisit the Oscars from this year as well, too? To see what happened as well. But Macklin, so a fun receiver draft. Jeremy Macklin, shout out as well, too. A lot of guys that we had football cards back in the day. Michael Crabtree as well. Michael Johnson, the defensive end. So, yeah, I mean, this would have been a lot of guys that even if they didn't have the career runs, were going to be playing, you know, on the rookie contracts, at least getting some minutes in the early 2010s. So, perfect timing for us to just, like, start locking in and just, like, remembering all these names. B.J. Raji? Chat, how is B.J. Raji way down here on the all-time, in the redraft list? In the career value list? I don't know if we find a way to resort this to get B.J. Raji up near the top of the draft, but holy cow. I mean, B.J. Raji's going in the first round. There's no way, right? Am I crazy? Was peak B.J. I mean, I guess maybe like Pro Bowls, All-Pros here. That might actually be the way to do it. Who made an All-Pro team? Where's B.J. Raji? Oh, I guess not B.J. Raji. Shout out. Pro Bowls. We'll give him a chance. Did he make a Pro Bowl team? He had to have made a Pro Bowl team. Oh, he made one Pro Bowl team, so not quite an All-Pro team. But a Pro Bowl team anyways, a defensive tackle. So that's something. You know, Henry Melton. I mean, shout out. I guess I think do I remember Henry Melton? I don't know. Maybe there's been some other Meltons for defensive end. But Johnny Knox. I remember this would have been early us starting to play fantasy as well, too. And there was some, you know, us being in the Midwest, of course, you got a lot of Bears fans. I just remember a lot of them being like, we got to pay attention to Johnny Knox in these fantasy drafts. And I don't know if that worked out. Cedric Pierman as well, too. So, hey, yo, Rem reads the 09 draft. It is what it is. But, again, this is going to be just some iconic names, at least nostalgia for, I think, guys in our era, our age range. But anyways, yeah, Stafford, Hendon Hooker. I don't know where we're going here, chat, but the Hall of Fame game. Who else got minutes? Craig Reynolds. So, yeah, Jacob Sailors. Craig Reynolds, I guess 10 for 38. I was going to say he might be too good for the Hall of Fame game. I feel, we've seen him have some good. He's been on. There's like a minutes restriction for fantasy teams that you should be on for Hall of Fame game status. Or maybe that's what we're saying. Like, we do want, of course, good players. So, like, Trey Lance would, I think, sneaky log a lot of fantasy minutes. Definitely in some dynasty-type leagues. But, some of those early 49ers years, there's always a guy that just, like, has Trey Lance. He's just, like, drafts Trey Lance as his second quarterback. Like, oh, that's funny. Last pick, Trey Lance. I mean, there's always a quarterback like that somebody's just going to be drafting really funny. I mean, I feel like this year it's going to be Shador. And I mean, that one's a little more, you could have some real play value. We'll have to do some Googling on the Browns training camp. Before the Sunday pod here, but that's one of the teams we haven't gotten around to yet, I guess. I feel like we've seen a lot of training camp news for the Browns specifically, though. Shout out to Cowherd. Every time we walk past the TV at work with Cowherd, when Cowherd's on it, just some Brown Shador Sanders segment is on it. It is what it is. And I mean, shout out as well too. He had some Dion segments recently as well. As I was like looking up, like, oh, Dion, hey, what's going on there? Shout out. Best wishes, of course, to Coach Prime, and hopefully, he's in best spirits as well too. But they're also covering Shador Sanders like crazy, Chad. Hey, the training camp stuff, and there's been some good Instagram stuff about, it's like, okay, I think maybe the Instagram MVP of training camp is, but I was gonna say, I don't know, Chad. Maybe that's more for. Maybe we do like a training camp deep dive on Sunday, and a training camp notebooked up. Hey, yo, chat. It is what it is. But, yeah, anyways, so I guess Haskins would be kind of a sneaky, log some good fantasy minutes as well. Kind of like Vidal, too. I don't know if we have a receiver. Ooh, where's Quentin Johnston? Quentin Johnston not getting any minutes for the Chargers? Hey, yo, some kind of injury probably. Brendan Rice, 1 for 13 on one target. So I don't know. We don't have a snap count here for Brendan Rice, but pay attention, chat. Number 82. Okay, and yet look, we got another one here. Dalvin Campbell, number 380. Jalen Johnson, 390. And yeah, Miller Hines, 310. Jaquay Jackson, 270. Literally says his jersey number is number 270. So maybe I've missed this before, but has there been triple digit jersey numbers in preseason games and in stuff like this before? I have not seen that. And why, the three, I guess, some of the positional stuff, pause, is probably why they would jump around with the numbers, but I guess they just went straight to the 300s, and then we got a 270 in here as well. Nobody in Detroit, so maybe that's got to be just a Harbaugh thing as well too. There's no rules. Harbaugh's like, if you want to wear a triple digit jersey number, go for it. See what happens, I guess. Yeah, there's a 38D. Hey, yo, pause. What is this? There's a jersey, a measurement? What's going on here, chat? Hey, yo, Jim Harbaugh. Crazy. Oh, I guess defense. Hey, yo, pause. We got a 27D, a 46. Oh, so maybe there's other 40. That would make sense. Like, because, I guess, so moving to the triple digit to avoid duplicating a certain number. Because, again, in the NFL, it's not like just necessarily choose numbers 1 through 99 and everybody just picks a number, the 53, 80 plus people that you get into the training camps or whatever. But because, again, the positional groupings, they do have to have certain numbers for certain spots in the field. So it would make sense to differentiate with a letter, I guess, off his defense. Because I guess it makes sense of, we see that in college where there'll be like a number 4 that's a running back and then like a number 4 that's a defensive tackle. Then you're, wait a second, what's going on? But, yeah, so to go to 380, to go to 270, to, I guess, be inconsistent. I don't know. Because these are offensive guys up here. So, wait, 38? Do we do a oh, look at that, chat. Boom. The math works out. 38. Oh, it's a 38. Oh, it's a 38 offense, chat. Boom. We got there. We finally got there. Jim Harbaugh, he's thinking ahead. I guess maybe it would be cooler if his number was 380. I don't know. DM us on REMINGTOM on Instagram and let us know. Do you want his number to actually be 270? Or do you want it to be 27 offense, and then some guy, because also, again, 27D is a little bit crazy. Like 30 and 30, like this guy just got 38D. Like, what are we doing, chat? This is crazy. I don't know. But shout out Harbaugh. Or I guess here we go. We got a 52. We got a duplicate 52 for Detroit. So it is out there. The Colts, I don't know. I guess it just shows the lack of preseason football that we've watched. It is what it is. Or the lack of, or maybe it's not labeled like that on the field. You know, it's probably just labeled like that on the box score, to be honest, as well, too. They're probably not actually walking around in the field with, you know, what is a syndrome situation on the field. It's like, well, what's the big BS doing on your chest? Like, hey, why is Emory Johnson got a 38D? Like, get that guy to change out of his jersey. You know, we got kids watching this. But, yeah, so, you know, speaking of 38, 34-7 was the final score. Trey Lance, chat. Unstoppable. It is what it is. We would watch the highlights, but make no mistake, the NFL will take us down. It is what it is. So it's exciting to have the NFL back, and not just in games. Again, in news, it feels like we've had some trade requests heating up as well too. Terry McLaurin requested a trade, but then here, let me verify if this is true as well. IT, can we get some sources on this? I saw, speaking of what was, you know, the sports news covering today, there was like some breaking news. Micah Parsons, yeah, here we go. Oh, we got 6 minutes ago. Yahoo lacking, chat. Say, I thought I saw this middle of the shift, middle of this, like the lunch break news. But whoa, excuse me, chat. We got Micah Parsons requesting a trade from Dallas. You know, the NFL, it just doesn't quite, it just doesn't quite ring the same as it does in the NBA. And even the NBA, it doesn't even really, well, it does mean a lot because it, in some ways, you know, okay, well, there might be, but again, maybe now it's a May. But there may be efforts to at least initiate trade talks at that point, which again, I guess is still sort of the same thing. Maybe it's just us being more in on the timeline of how these things go on as well too. I don't even know if, you know, but then you just go back to how, you know, the old players talk about how the communication with the front office. And you know, they've talked about this as well before too in like the college environment, but it's like, you know, a lot of times it's just what's the mentality of the players back in the day. It's not a mentality of loyalty. It's just you're not even thinking in the mechanics of the NBA. It's just not quite set up the same or you know, the NFL as well too, or whatever league, or you know, college to, you know, transfer. Bill has said that about the transfer portal, and that made a lot of sense again just across sports at any point where it's like, you know, we and he was talking about, you know, I guess himself as well too, but just in general, he's like, you know, they called us loyal back in the day, which is true. Like the guys stuck around, but he's like, again, we weren't even, it's not that we didn't just have another option. It's just, it wasn't necessarily the way guys were thinking. Guys weren't thinking about being in the transfer portal and the NIL type stuff. It's just, you know, it's the way that the game has evolved and the slow pieces that have been added to the game. And, you know, again, at that time as well too, you see guys like, I don't know exactly when Billis was in college, but I think it was around, it's not too far off from the, you know, the UNLV run. So shout out to Billis if it is. But, you know, the man's looking good if it is. But that would have been like, what, 90s or something. So Billis might have been, again, like end of the 80s. I'm not sure. But, you know, I mean, he's calling himself old. So I'm just giving, you know, just going with what he's saying. But, and I guess end of the, you know, being in college at the end of the 80s wouldn't make him necessarily crazy old, obviously, Chad. Hey, yo, I think you could still be, you know, quite good looking and you know, go to college in the late 80s, but that's not the point, I guess. Anyways, Jay Billis, you know, his tenure at Duke, but you know, again, that's what he's saying. It's just the mentality and the way that it's evolved and what the options are and the mechanics of the league and how that stuff is expanded. And for the NFL, it just doesn't quite feel the same. So maybe it's the receiver factor for McLaurin that neutralizes that trade request a little bit, for where it feels like the receivers would be the, you know, hey, yo, shout out, it is what it is. But they are the ones a little bit to like, okay, who's most likely to request a trade in the NFL? A receiver or maybe, again, a quarterback, just the power of that position. But still the mentality of the position, it's definitely it's definitely the receivers in the league, maybe the cornerbacks and the defensive backs as a byproduct of that as well too. But, or, you know, any kind of star is also on the table for that, or also any type of Cowboys player who Jerry Jones is not going to pay as well. But I can't imagine that again, he's not going to trade Micah Parsons. I don't even really know what they, so I guess Google AI says the Cowboys reportedly trying to extend Parsons, but this demands could complicate their salary cap situation. How? You by paying a great player? What is the point of the salary cap, chat? Hey, yo. Imagine Jerry Jones just lets Micah Parsons walk or trades him. I guess the problem is the trade would be crazy. Like Jerry Jones, I guess there is obviously a version, and who knows even if Jerry Jones is more talk at this point versus actually operational, but there is a chance that, of course, he undersells Micah Parsons. I don't know, the Luka Doncic trade for Micah Parsons. Who's Micah Parsons for Joey Bosa? Chad, I don't know what the trade is to make that work. Or like, I don't want to disrespect our own guy. I was gonna say like a Micah Parsons for DeForest Buckner, but I honestly think that would be like a crazy. If they pulled that trade off, that would be a crazy trade. I mean, we might have to get Top on the phone for that one. Chat, call Ballard up. Honestly, see what's going on. Hey Buckner, if you're listening, we know Buckner's a fan, chat. So hey yo, hopefully he was tuned out at that moment right there, because if you're listening, buddy, make no mistake, you're up there with our. It's like you and Quentin Nelson is like our favorite Colts right now. And Anthony Richardson, shout out. We love the quarterback as well, too. We have all the confidence in the world in him. We believe. But outside the tenures, the legendary guys, we like, of course, those veteran players and what they've done for the team over the past couple of years. But that would be some crazy trade value type stuff. And, I don't know, complicating the salary cap situation. It's not like Buckner's on a cheap deal. But I assume it would be less than whatever max type of contract Parsons would be getting. But getting any type of single player, and it wouldn't be a 1-for-1 as well. Maybe it would be. Who knows? But, I'm assuming it wouldn't be a 1-for-1 in that type of ordeal. But, again, with Luka, the difficulty of a player-for-player trade is when you're giving up by far the best player in the trade, it's just difficult. How many options do you have where you can actually win that? But there is, of course, the multiple first-round picks. Again, if we're thinking an NBA brain as well, too. But, we even saw a guy like Tyreek, again, speaking of the receivers, we've seen them go for multiple first-round picks, some first and some seconds. Adams had a really valuable trade package, a really decent price, I feel like. You got like a second and a first when they got traded. Or was it a second and a third, maybe? I don't remember. But either way, again, that value would go up for Parsons. If it's a second and a third for Adams, it's two firsts and a second for Micah Parsons for defensive end at the peak of his powers. But for arguably the best defensive end in the league at the peak of his powers as well, too. So it's probably 3 first-round trades at that point. 3 first-round picks at that point. I don't know what is this the Herschel Walker trade all over again? Hey, yo. Hopefully Jerry Jones is not a fan and didn't just say that because he's like, you know what? You're right. We traded Herschel Walker and it worked out. We'll trade Micah Parsons and that'll work out too. But let's see. Can we find out the big Jerry Jones? Shout out Jerry Jones. But luckily you just kind of have to do like old man voice. It's just kind of do like old man voice. It's like that's just Jerry Jones. It's fine. But NFL biggest trades. So we know that if Russell Wilson to the Broncos, move that one up first. Yeah, shout out Herschel Walker. It is what it is. 5 biggest blockbuster trades. So I guess, how many NFL trades have had like 3 or more first-round picks in them? We'll find out if all 5 have that. But there's going to be probably some player-for-player type of trades as well, too. Oh, that's right, McCaffrey. But they gave up a second for that, but it was still a lot for a running back, obviously. Elway traded to the Broncos. Of course. What did they end up getting for Elway, though? The deal wound up being productive for both sides. Okay. We got Hinton out of the deal. Chris Hinton. Yeah, Chris Hinton. Shout out. Legend. But let's see here. I guess wait. Does it say the picks? I guess it just says the players. But Atlanta Falcons for when they traded Favre. Oh, this page is going to not work, chat. Hey, yo. It is what it is. We'll find a different one. Largest NFL trades. Oh, shout out Wikipedia, of course. Yeah. Oh, just players involved? So I guess that would be part of it as well, too. 18 players involved in the Herschel Walker trade. Hey, yo. From Dallas, they traded a third, a 10th round pick. Hey, yo, the 98 NFL draft was going crazy. And then a third as well, too. But they got, okay, a first, a second, a sixth, a first. So that is 3 first-round picks. I mean, chat, this is just unreal. This is literally the Clippers trade right here. This is literally the Clippers trade. I feel like people have had to have made this comparison. There's just no way that nobody has ever made this comp before. But that literally is the Herschel. This is a Clippers trade. It's not even... It is, again, the talents they got back as well, too, where you're just getting insane. Oh, yeah, Emmitt Smith back in the trade. It's like, okay, yo, you get Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be like the best offensive guard, you know, him and Luka, and, you know, Anthony Edwards, he's a talented group of guys, obviously. But, you know, it's like, okay, he's going to be in the mix for the best offensive guard of this decade. But, you know, they also just got an unreasonable amount of stuff back in general. It's like, there's just no way you can mess this up. This is crazy. Like, what are we doing here? And, you know, shout out, Herschel Walker's amazing. But a cornerback, like, you know, again, it's, you know, a great player. But there's just, at what point do you think that, do you look at it and go, what are we doing here? So, did they get anything else back as well? I guess they did get hurt. Like, they got the couple of thirds in the 5th, but, hey, yo, chat. This is insane. How many picks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks in total? Jeez, and I guess they have more rounds as well, too. So, you know, if the Clippers could have given them 12, if they had 7 rounds in a draft, who knows what the Thunder would have gotten that Paul George trade, honestly. But, yeah, that's insane. So I don't know if Micah Parsons gets you 3 firsts, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, a third, a sixth, and whatever, and also a quarterback, a linebacker, and a defensive end. So Ballard, if that's the price, it's like, okay, DeForest Buckner and every pick you have for the next 4 years, it's like, probably a little too much, even for Micah Parsons. But shout out. A 15-player swap. Hey, yo. So shout out to the Baltimore Colts, 1953. This is before they even thought about trading picks. Stu Sheets. There's a guy in here named Stu Sheets, a tackle. Shout out. Unfortunately, he does not have a Wikipedia page to reference. Harry Agnes is the quarterback, but he's listed here on Wikipedia in a Red Sox jersey. So I don't think the quarterback thing necessarily worked out all that well, to be honest. Professional baseball player after passing up a potential football career. Hey, yo. So not the first time that a Colts quarterback, because he got traded to the Colts in this trade, not the first time that a Colts quarterback, I guess, is bailed for baseball. Is this in the 30 for 30 about, because there's a 30 for 30 about Elway getting traded, right? So is this in the 30 for 30? It's like, this didn't just start with, this is a lineage of Colts guys doing this all the way back to Harry Agnes. So shout out. Oh, chat. 26. Hey, yo. R.I.P. It is what it is. I guess, you know, that's not the right way to phrase it, but, you know, just, all right, moment of silence for our guy, Harry Agnes. What a run. Legendary player. But, again, you know, he wasn't necessarily going to commit to football anyway, so not say, his Colts tenure was not going to happen, either way. But, what is this guy's name, Chad? Hey, yo, I don't even know if we can say this. Ed Sharkey? I mean, is it just every movie character ever? I feel like this guy, not just the face, but the name, Ed Sharkey, could just be in any movie. And, you know, you get Don Shula in this trade as well, too. Herschel Forrester. So the Herschel Walker trade and the Herschel Forrester trade. The 2 largest trades in NFL history. Third, a 14-player trade in the 71 draft involved a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. So not that one. 10-player trade. The Eric Dickerson trade. The Rams got a first. They got 2 firsts, 3 firsts, and 3 seconds for Eric Dickerson. So that could be, and I know that's not like crazy far off. You know, you throw a couple more players on there, and you're kind of at the Herschel Walker trade. You know, it's really more the players going around the Herschel Walker trade as well, too. And, you know, the way they have it listed here, it's a little bit more expanded. So wait a second here. Let me recount the pause. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks for Herschel Walker. So yeah, 6 picks for Eric Dickerson. So I guess that's the precedent as well too back in the day. And then there's probably some salary stuff that they're moving around with the other guys. But I mean, you got to imagine Micah Parsons is at least 5 picks in a trade at this point. Because again, who else is this valuable as well too? This is a lot of running backs and again just large trades for just a lot of players getting swapped around. Not necessarily in terms of a lot of picks or a lot of value getting moved around as well too. 30 blockbuster NFL trades. Hey, yo, Chad. Okay, let's scroll away here. Yeah, Stafford got him. Oh, a pair of first-round picks and a third. So 2 firsts and a third for a quarterback that has definitely, again, aged really well. He's got maybe even a year or two more potentially out of him than you would have thought, but also, that's not too far off. Les Richter. Hey, yo. Was part of a blockbuster trade. 11 players. It doesn't necessarily say any picks. Terrell Owens. Shout out Jalen Ramsey. So, yeah, I guess point being, 5 to 6 to 7 picks in that range. So, or whatever, I guess, like we're saying, whatever player you can get players you can get the Cowboys, obviously, to talk themselves into, get the trade up. But would it be a team like, speaking of the Chargers as well, or a team like the Lions? You already have Hutch. I guess, I don't know, did he just sign an extension? Or is he still on his rookie contract for a couple of years? I don't know exactly what his timeline is there for his contract stuff. But the Bengals, I say, the problem is none of these teams want to pay their edge rushers for some reason. And the Cowboys are, they're a big market team. We know they run a little bit more cheap. Even the Colts, like we're saying, it'd be whatever the trade value is. Do we want to pay a guy that much money? It doesn't seem like we ever have in the past, so, or at least haven't recently. So who knows? Maybe things switch up a little bit differently now. But regardless, it would have to be a team making a big competitive swing. Like Minnesota feels like a team that's been aggressive acquiring players and really kind of I would say a no cost, a money doesn't matter type of team in a way. But they did, of course, move on from Sam Darnold to not re-sign him to go with the rookie quarterback. But also there was a potential that just maybe J.J. McCarthy is better. There is the potential that maybe J.J. McCarthy is better, and you do get him on the rookie deal, and it's like at some point he's going to have to start, so Sam Darnold himself needs the opportunity to play. It's just, you have 2 guys for one role on the team. But they might be a team, and they do also have a couple of other defensive end assets to trade back as well too, because they've already done the Danielle Hunter trade, of course, for Grenard. They traded both those guys for each other, right? Because they have Grenard and they have Turner now, who they just drafted last year. And there's another edge as well too that I'm not thinking of. I think they have a third edge. Do they have Van Ginkel? Is that the guy that I'm thinking of? I think it might be. Is it Van Ginkel, Dallas Turner, and Jonathan Grenard as their guys? Oh, Chad, I feel like this is like the first time we visited PFF for the 2025-26 season. Shout out! I feel like we should get a welcome back. Like, hey, chat, we're in football mode now. All of a sudden, this is good stuff here. What team are we looking at? The Vikings. The Vikings. I guess, of course, we're already kind of there. But a quick Micah Parsons trade machine. Not even a trade machine corner, but more of a trade thought experiment corner. Kind of see what might be possible for potential trades. And I guess it doesn't have to be, again, like an edge guy for Micah Parsons in this way. They can trade for any player, any combination pick, any whatever. But if we're still in NBA, I guess, not fully NFL brain, a little bit of NBA brain, still carrying over. Ayo, pause. But that's kind of crazy. But, if we get just a little bit of the NBA thought process, there would be like okay, you have to replace this as well. And you would assume that they would want to at least get some competency there, because that's another spot where outside of Parsons, like you have some good players there as well, but they're not the deepest roster in the league. That's for sure. So yeah, they also have Sam Howell and Brett Rippon. Hey yo, they're fine, chat. They didn't even need Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold would have been QB4 anyways. Hey yo, Sam Howell and Sam Darnold in the same. Sam might have been a Vikings fan. Might have been the first time we had an NFL team of the year. It feels like the Chiefs are kind of in an elevated status. I don't even know if the season matters for the Chiefs at this point. It's like it does. They're somehow gonna be motivated and have a chip on their shoulder, but from the NFL fans, they just kind of are now like, well, I guess I don't know if we're doing NFL previous stuff here, but they kind of are in a little of that Brady, Belichick, Patriots stuff where it's like it literally the regular season just doesn't even matter as long as they're in the playoffs. If there's a version of this team that's healthy and Brady, hey yo, whoa, I mean we literally just there we go, Chad. We just Freudian slipped. I think is that what would you say the wrong thing? We just accidentally said Mahomes or Brady instead of Mahomes. We meant to say Mahomes, but hey yo, now the Brady people are gonna be like, whoa, what's going on? But yeah, I mean they were in that level where as long as they're gonna be in the playoffs, it's like yeah, I guess they're gonna win the Super Bowl. It is what it is. But for defensive depth at this point for the Vikings, Jonathan Allen and Hargrave on the interior. I mean, this is crazy, chat. Brian Osamoa at the linebacker? Blake Cashman? I mean, the Vikings are going to be stacked on defense this year. It is what it is. Ivan Pace Jr. Yeah, shout out. But other edge guys as well, too. Yeah, Van Ginkel. It is Van Ginkel. Shout out. So that's a pretty good three-man edge combo, guys. And then the two interior studs as well, too. Really gives you, like we're saying, a really good rotation there. But, I mean, maybe they go, Hargrave and something for Parsons. Again, the contract stuff is what it is. But you assume that Parsons himself wants to get whatever that TJ Watt level deal is. Denver, Denver could be a team because they do kind of also understand, I think, the team that they have to build. And I think in some ways, Sean Payton does want to have to build a team where he is the centerpiece of it. And it's like, I get to prop up the quarterback. Like, he had his run with Drew Brees. And I think, again, because it's not like Drew Brees had a great, the Charger stuff was great and stuff. But it's not like he had all-time tenures outside of Sean Payton. Like, they both kind of benefit equally from their run together. But I do think he kind of would like the idea of having a run where he elevates kind of the middle guy draft pick who was, again, like fifth quarterback off the board. We kind of think that we know what his upside is going to be, but he's like, yeah, I can get him to that Pro Bowl level, and then we can build the rest of the team around him to still have a really great competitive team all the way around. But they could continue to just invest all in on the defense. And a guy like, probably not Surtain. You probably want to, start just pairing those guys together and just going crazy. And plus they have the Walmart guys as well too, cutting checks. So they might not care. So, if we're getting if we want to get real NFL trade realistic, John Franklin Myers and a couple of draft picks and Zach Allen for Micah Parsons, that sounds like it could actually happen. I could actually see John Franklin Myers getting traded for Micah Parsons for some reason. I don't know if I'm having a deja vu time loop type moment here and this has already happened and we're just seeing it. Obviously Benito would be the guy, right? You're like, okay, if we're going to get a young talent, Benito. But for some reason, I just think John Franklin Myers has more likeliness to be in the trade. And he's good as well. They got him graded at 12th, but it's just that type of trade where you're like, the NFL nerds would kind of talk themselves into it and there might be enough picks around it, but it's still okay, you're giving up Micah Parsons at the end of the day. Nobody's probably going to, again, impact the game individually the same way that Micah Parsons is. And then you're looking at the Broncos and you're like, wait a second, so now they have Benito and Parsons? And Parsons is versatile as well, too. So I don't know, schematically what defenses he fits in most because they do run a little outside linebacker they run the heavier set defensive ends, of course, in Denver a little bit. And then Benito a little bit more outside linebacker-ish, I would say, than more of an edge at times. But Parsons could, again, you can play him all over the front seven. So you can move him, he can be whatever on the team. So I honestly now I would say the Broncos over the Vikings. I think maybe I'm just invested a little bit emotionally in the Vikings because of McCarthy and because I want McCarthy to prove people wrong, and that would be the Vikings. Well, I guess McCarthy could prove people wrong and the Vikings could be bad as well too, potentially, but I don't know what that would look like. And as well, that wouldn't be fun for McCarthy. So we want him to be successful and his team to be successful. Just success and happiness to the McCarthy family and the Minnesota Vikings. It is what it is. But I would see the Broncos. I could see the Broncos more likely to make this type of move and get this aggressive. Like the Ravens, it doesn't necessarily seem like a NFC North team type move. It doesn't necessarily seem like a trade that they would. It doesn't seem like they would trade him in the division as well too. Like maybe you could see the Eagles trading for Micah Parsons, obviously, if they could undercut the Cowboys. That's the worst case scenario. And for Cowboys fans especially. I mean, for Eagles fans, that'd be crazy if they're like, somehow we just screwed over our biggest rival and got their best player and maybe the best defensive player in the league from them. Or, again, the Giants are like, we don't need another defensive lineman, but let's trade all of our first round picks for the best one in the league. And people can't really say it's a bad move, but also is it a good move because how does it help our team? But so, honestly, Philly and New York would be up there for teams I could see trading for Micah Parsons. But the Cowboys, I don't actually think would trade him in the NFC East. So we might have to cross them out. Same with the Commanders as well, too. But Chicago could get maybe a little feisty. Green Bay, Detroit. NFC North is definitely interesting. NFC South NFC South, and AFC South as well, too, for a little bit. But NFC South is just a bummer if he goes to the NFC South. Like, if he goes to Tampa, like, that's definitely fun. And the Tampa team would really, maybe you're like, oh, could Tampa win the NFC with Micah Parsons? Like, is that the most interesting floor raise, I guess? The Raiders, actually, I look at Carl, the Raiders would be an interesting floor raise as well, too, because they got an opening spot in the defensive line now that Christian Wilkins is gone. So as long as Michael Parsons doesn't like to kiss his teammates on the forehead, you can play in Las Vegas and be okay. But maybe Vegas wouldn't invest too heavily in a star at that point when they're a little still trying to rebuild the culture, but maybe that would be just part of the rebuild. Would just be like, hey, let's just go get a star player like Micah Parsons. So the AFC West is pretty interesting. Like the Chargers are definitely interesting, and the Chiefs, I don't know, the cap, I guess you can do anything in the NFL, but I don't know if the Chiefs can necessarily make that work. Karlaftis for Parsons? Hey, they just signed Karlaftis, and Sam just perked up somewhere. Sam's like, wait a second, what did I just hear? Karlaftis for Parsons? I'm all in. Yeah, wait a second, he just messaged me. He said call it in right now. Sam loves the Chiefs. So I don't know if Sam would have to. I mean, Sam would definitely defend his guy Karlaftis, but I think, unfortunately, the man's a cold-blooded Super Bowl winner, so he would see the bigger picture and then man would get traded. He would look at that Karlaftis jersey and think, good times, but welcome to the team, Micah Parsons. It is what it is. But I don't know if that trade actually ends up happening. San Francisco is interesting. That could be a thinker. A big market team. They do like the big market defensive players for sure. I mean, hot take. They like really great defensive players. But again, I think they're willing to spend on in as much as, again, that might not seem like a hot take. It kind of, again, the Cowboys aren't doing it right now, so I guess it is. But they are in some ways willing to spend on some of the top guys. Like, I'm trying to remember if they had like a Nick Bosa. Maybe everybody just has holdout situations. But again, it's one of the more stacked, and I guess Debo as well too, but that's a wide receiver. Or Ayuk, but same thing. But they, again, have a lot of the top end talent in the NFL across their roster. So Trent Williams, they really will pay and lock in. They're the team that traded for McCaffrey. So they will invest, obviously, in a elite blue chip guy. Again, hot take. The one thing that San Francisco does well, I mean, it's not that difficult, Chad, sometimes. It is what it is. Just pay the man. Just give Micah Parsons the paycheck and say, go do your job and be the, not like that, but, just be the best defensive lineman in the league. Here's that money. Here's all the money, and you're just, here's worth everybody. The James Bond to Vesper line in the train, just, I'm the money. Every penny of it, Micah Parsons, when he's playing defensive end. Hey, I mean, that's the way it's been for the last couple of years, but I don't know. But, so I don't know if it's like Nick Bosa for Micah Parsons. But wait, Williams, is this the guy they just drafted? Oh, Michael Williams, yeah. Ooh. The Georgia lineman from this year. And who's the other one? Walker. And he went to because the Panthers, no, he went to the Falcons. Ooh, yeah. Maybe the Falcons would be interesting for Micah Parsons because they do have Penix now. Parsons and Penix would be a fun team. And Drake London, the Falcons would be fun. Wouldn't be mad about him going to the Falcons. But Williams and some other contracts, and I don't know what the 49ers would have for picks, so that would be a difficult one in there. But that would be a team that I could definitely see at least calling and seeing what it's about. And maybe they go a little bit heavier with the players as well, too. And to be Bosa for Parsons, I mean, as much as you feel like you got to do that, again, teams just mixing it up in that type of way, like that feels more like us in 2K than actually like what would teams, get willing to do. That's, again, what Sam was like, been able to tame me down to the trade machines. Like, that might happen, but the teams probably aren't going to do that trade unless, like, of course, Nico Harrison, our guy, shout out. But, and they got Collins in the draft as well too. Alfred Collins, Texas defensive tackle. Yeah, I don't remember if he also made the All-Pro team or All-American team, but I remember there was some pedigree with the defensive lineman from Texas in there as well too. So the Niners can be back as well, for sure. And Pittsburgh, I know we said the NFC North doesn't seem, but they just paid TJ Watt as well too. So we have TJ Watt and Parsons. Could be crazy. Tennessee, crazy expensive. But Tennessee, Houston, they might have to, and again, you would assume you're doing sort of the Philadelphia Eagles recipe and just adding to the depth of talent that you would have on the defensive line. But again, on the other hand, they would have some trade pieces as well too. They, of course, are the ones that got Danielle Hunter in the trade. And then who else is on this Texas team? Hey, Will Anderson, that's the guy, chat. Who's that guy that was Defensive Rookie of the Year? Will Anderson. But then they also have, do they still have the linebacker? Yeah, Al-Shahir. He'll be flying around. Christian Harris. That's who I'm thinking of. Christian Harris is good as well too. But yeah, it could be like a Danielle Hunter for Parsons deal. And that would be, I think, kind of supercharging that spot, with all due respect to Danielle Hunter. But Turner or Anderson, and I guess Turner was really good as well too. So I'm kind of mixing them up, a couple of the Alabama guys. But Anderson has really shown, some elite stuff. So I don't know if you necessarily would want to, you just think, would a team want to do that trade? It would make sense in a 2K on paper type way, but who knows if they'd actually want to do that. So I don't know if we'll workshop some more trades, but just a quick scan. And again, maybe it goes to the deep pocket type owners. Maybe a team like Carolina. I don't know if they've, necessarily operated with deep pockets, but they do have the owner that can spend. So, also, looking at you, Dallas, Jerry Jones. But otherwise, yeah, Denver might be our number one Micah Parsons landing spot at this point. Or the Rams. Okay, there's the other team, chat. So the Denver is the AFC team. The Rams would be the other NFC team. They could be like, you know what? We need another big-time superstar. I guess Verse, of course, is on that path. And they're stacked in the defensive line. So, trading Verse for Parsons, again, that would be painful, I think, for Rams fans. It'd be two beloved, just rising talents just getting traded for each other at great times in their careers. But also, both teams, I think, would, in some ways, look at what they got and kind of be like, you know what? We can see the bigger picture with the returns that we're getting back. But if it's Young and some picks, maybe, Young and Fisk. Hey, Wilson Fisk, Brandon Fisk, who's our guy? Braden Fisk, that's what it is. A couple of those young players or somewhere else. Nakua? Ooh, chat. Puka Nakua and some picks for Micah Parsons? That'd be a crazy deal. And then who's some low-key receiver that you could get back for Dallas? CeeDee Lamb. And I don't know if you could tempt Jerry Jones with another receiver as well, too. But, Pickens, Tolbert? Could LA turn Tolbert around? Ooh, chat, imagine Dallas is like, okay, well, we could have George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and Puka Nakua, but not Micah Parsons. So, shout out. It is what it is. But Also, Mike Parsons, if you want to come to the Colts, pause. Hopefully, Ballard is cooking up something on the trade machine to get you on the team. Because make no mistake, we'd love to have you. Micah Parsons Colts jersey, that'd be pretty sick. But also, as much as we love Micah Parsons to be on the Colts, we'd also love to get to listening to this Metro Boomin album chat, Futuristic Summa. Hey, yo, it's finally time. It's finally time. We should take a quick break. And then when we come back, we will finally dive into the newest Metro Boomin project hosted by DJ Spins. Hey, yo, chat, it's up next. All right, chat, welcome back. It's time to get into Futuristic Summa, the newest project from one of our favorite producers in the game. I mean, hot take, we're one of the people in the, one of the few people in the 40, 50 million people listening to a month on Spotify that are in that group. But I guess I would say we're top fans. I think Sam's, pretty consistent, like top 5 Metro Boomin Spotify raps. We're pretty, we're locked in. Oh, what's going on with Metro Boomin? But just also excited as well too to get a new project. And I don't want to call this, the most unique Metro Boomin project. But again, as a producer, that's what's been great, especially about, his own discography here. Of course, looking at it on Spotify is, again, he's handled a lot of his production on his own albums. But looking at this first track on Genius, and again, I know that a lot of you guys have probably already heard this album by now as well too, but not produced by Metro Boomin. So I'm not necessarily like the greatest with knowing of like for his catalog specifically of going through and knowing like which ones of the tracks he would have collaborated most with on other producers, or actually like, oh, this one's mostly this other guy, whatever. But again, it's Metro Boomin. We know that it's his discography. He's producing a lot of the stuff here. But again, on this, he's maybe stepping back in that type of way and maybe moving into a different role where, again, it's more him kind of executive producing. I guess maybe the one other exception for that would be this Spider-Verse album. Here, let me double check this real quick. This is... this is pretty much all Metro Boomin. For the most part. Again, him being listed on the track. So, I mean, again, as you would assume, it's like him EPing the album. He would probably be more likely to appear, again, as a producer on every track versus you get a guy like Kendrick EPing an album for Black Panther. A little different than, say, okay, Kendrick's going to write a song for every track on Black Panther. Like, that makes a little bit more sense to collaborate with more artists in that way versus, it's like, okay, it makes a little more sense that a producer could tackle the entirety of a soundtrack album, for sure. But, again, he didn't necessarily also have the other collaborations with the other people, not for the better or the worse. I'm just saying that, it's not necessarily something that we've seen throughout the course of his discography. So it'll be a fun, I guess, to see as the for what those different producers are across these tracks. It'll be to see how he curates that sound, and has kind of turned into a busy guy the last couple of years. It is what it is. The double album in 2024, and I don't know if we have a Future album slated for 2025, but Future gave us the third album in 2025. But now Metro has an album, a mixtape ish, as well, since the double collab album with Future. So both equal amounts of workload, games played since the album. Though again, Future had to turn around on his album a little bit quicker, but again, a little bit of a distance as well too from his sort of full on. And again, not necessarily solo project, but him not working with Future, of course. And not to say that this collab project wasn't sort of new as well, too, of them being forefront co-stars on the album. But again, his 2023 album as well, too, was that Spider-Verse album, which is, got some solid cuts on it for sure. But it, might resemble this one a little bit more. But here, let's get into it and see. I haven't seen features yet for what's going on. So we know that that's the biggest reason why he delayed the album for the most part was, adding on those last couple of feature verses. And like we said, when the album got delayed, and like I think a lot of people, scenario here, still not bad in terms of overall length though. An hour 18 is still not crazy. Again, 24 songs. Metro's are featured in some kind of just get her on some interlude part of this album. I don't know. Or of this track. It definitely seems like a must. And even Omar Epps. Shout out to our guy. But, let's get into the... So I guess, the intro is an intro. So here, wait, let me go producer credit for this one here and see. Because that's the most curious thing, I think, as you would be. And, of course, how is he curating the production? But is he actually having it himself? Or is he relying on other producers? Okay, it's not saying on Spotify. So let me double check the next track on Genius. They Want to Have Fun. Oh, that's track number 3. My bad. But that one is... Okay, so he is producing. Okay. We're good. That actually, sigh of relief. We're getting Metro Boomin produced tracks. That's good. Metro Boomin and Zaytoven on this third one. Hey, yo, chat. We got to sit tight. This is going to be good. So, wait. Let me go back to the intro. We got a very triumphant, big start here, chat. Pause. It is what it is. But what are they saying here? It's going to be a futuristic... hopping in spaceships? Finna go PJ? Then what? Then what? I'm going to go skinny, skinny, skinny. I'm going to go extra. So they're setting the stage for Futuristic Summer. This is going to be fun, chat. I guess more of a futuristic back to school in August. It is what it is. But featuring J Money. Shout out J Money. Shout out Bobby Critical as well, too. And, of course, hosted by DJ Plug. Hey, yo, chat. It is what it is. So, like we said, triumphant sort of big start, setting the stage, kicking it off well. Hot start, chat. This might be a win. This might be a win. And for those that might be new, if we're gonna listen, we gotta hit the mute because we don't even take them down streaming rights. It is what it is. It's not our fault. Blame YouTube. Damn YouTube, and tell them to lift the ban on Rem and Sam so we can listen to the songs. And Metro is dropping at a tough time as well too, not just from an album standpoint, but specifically from a producing standpoint as well. Like we've had, the highest level producers in the game drop albums recently right now, with Pharrell teaming up with the Clips, and then Tyler always producing his own work on Don't Tap Glass, which is again, and Pharrell as well too. And Alchemist with Freddie Gibbs, and Alchemist even earlier this year with 2 Chainz and who else is on that album? Chat, Larry June. Shout out our guy Larry June. But there have been some really good produced albums this year, and the fact that it's been those producers again on those albums specifically versus an artist, a solo artist as well, dropping a project and collaborating with a bunch of producers. There's been a cohesiveness to the sound and a cohesiveness to the quality in a lot of the projects that have been really, really good. It's been one of the strong points of a lot of the really good albums this year. So again, Metro, as much as he's the best producer in the game, one of as well, arguably the best, thrown in the status as well too, got to be included. But this is some tough competition again in terms of an album quality type contest with the last couple of projects that have been dropped. Even the different types of projects, like we're saying, it is still solo produced. A lot of solo producer focus on a lot of these albums that we just mentioned. But you still got different types of albums with a sort of conceptual, I guess, is Clips albums conceptual? It is a little, I guess him and Tyler, it's kind of loose concept albums more so than like full-on concept albums. But again, a little bit more, varying levels of lyrical complication throughout. But still the production on all of those levels, has been the lyricism has been the highest level of production. So Metro Boomin has some tough competition for 2025. Not gonna lie. We got Travis Porter and Young Dro, and who else on this? And Gucci, chat, shout out as well. So this is Zaytoven, Bobby Critical on with Metro as well too. We got him on a hook here, chat. I'm not wait, okay, so what's going on the hook? Is this the let's hit Platinum 21? She want to have some fun? Bring me some shots? Bring me some shots? Is that what they're saying? Yeah, Platinum 21, she want to have some fun. Am I getting that right? Hey, yo, is this catchy? Is this the new segment on Rem and Sam? Is this catchy? We're going to have to listen to this one again just to make sure. I don't know. And some of these young guys, chat. Hey, I'm gonna sound like an old head now. Some of these young guys, we might not necessarily be too familiar with them as well too. So like a guy like Travis Porter, like I'm not necessarily too familiar with his catalog. Again, we can kind of get locked into some of the all-time guys. You just kind of get mix it around at those levels instead of, really focusing on a lot of the newer music. But still, this is a good way as well, too, for us to be introducing some of these guys. So, I'm saying like new guys. Like these could be established as well. But newer compared to even, again, like a guy like Future as well, too. Who, hot take. Been in the game. It is what it is. But still, new to us. So, shout out. Oh, Quez? Wait, which one's Quez, chat? Oh, man. It is what it is. Shout out. So, and Gucci, a fellow, a familiar face on verse 3. Keeping us, the ones that maybe stopped keeping up with new music a couple years ago. Like, okay, here's Gucci Mane. Something interesting for the track for you. Okay, chat. 2 tracks in, and it's been fun, for sure. I didn't necessarily see any of the preview snippets. I saw that he was maybe previewing some snippets, but I didn't. I kind of scrolled away quickly. I was like, okay, no spoilers. Let's not see what's going on too much here. But I don't know if from what I saw before, I was like, scrolling away, and then the sound scrolls away with it. Like, I don't know if this is anything that I've maybe heard in that. But again, I wouldn't even really know, to be honest. So here we go. Butterflies right now. We got kind of these are kind of fun drums right here. Wait, did he have the Metro tag on the other 2? I imagine he did, but he's like, okay, I'm taking credit for this one. Roscoe Dash, Quavo and Roscoe Dash, Quavo! Shout out. So Roscoe Dash, is this like one of these Cash Cobain characters? Like, what's going on here? Chorus, Natalie Moran, Samantha Hernandez, and Brianna Cody. Wait a second, is Roscoe Dash a group? Oh, okay. So what kind of group is this, Chad? Is this like some kind of like K-pop group? I would say this has like some kind of K-pop-y type energy right here. I don't know if K-pop is the right term, but it does have a more. I just literally just searched up K-pop. Ayo, what am I searching? Roscoe Dash. Roscoe Dash. I can't even spell, chat. Ayo. Okay, here we go. Oh, Roscoe Dash, not a group. Shout out. Is actually an artist. So if this trio on the chorus wants to steal and become a group called Roscoe Dash, I don't know if it's on the table as a group name. It's taken as a solo as well too. I don't know. But shout out, chat. Do we follow? Hey, yo. It is what it is. What do we got? We got real, some 2010s R&B vibes in here. I'm in. Shout out. I'll listen to a little more Roscoe Dash from now on. Shout out Metro for putting us on. It is what it is. But wait, who were these? Yeah, so what were the other names here listed that I'm seeing? Natalie Moran, Brianna Cody. So let's go Natalie Moran and see what we've got for this artist as well too. And hopefully it's not Natalie Moron. We're giving her the pronunciation as well, if it is. Natalie Moran. Oh, this is just a profile. That's not even an artist. I just clicked on somebody's profile named Natalie Moran. Hey, yo. Okay, so maybe the artist is not actually have a Spotify page, or I'm just not seeing the name of the group. But shout out whoever it is. So, again, I don't know if it is K-pop. Here, what does it say? I don't know why I'm thinking K-pop. I think it's just because we're listening to The Big Picture, and they were talking about the new K-pop movie that just dropped. So now I'm thinking about I have K-pop energy because of that. It doesn't say Butterfly is the Earth song on Metro's new album. Beat on this song sounds heavenly. That's literally all it says on Genius. There's no info behind the song. There is an annotation for the If Young Metro Don't Trust You. Oh, and there is an annotation for the one of Hold My Hands on the Side. Hey, yo. It is what it is. But shout out. Yeah, that was kind of fun. That was real up-tempo. For the kids? Was that for the TikToks and the TikTok dances, chat? Are people going to be running around outside of their cars doing TikTok dances to Butterflies? I don't know. But we got Quavo back in YK Nice. Hey, yo, chat. Rem's an old man tonight. It is what it is. When Quavo's like the newest guy that we know, shout out. It is, you know, sometimes you just get stuck in time with music, chat. You're just like, wait, they still keep dropping. Oh, Bunna B, shout out. It is what it is. So wait, let me mute real quick. This one's got some kind of fun energy to it. I don't want to say there's like a, you know, it did feel like on We Don't Trust You, and with, I mean, Heroes and Villains as well, too. And I mean, those are definitely more cinematic, full studio albums as well. Those are definitely more, of course, like real, like lush projects. And this doesn't have quite that same type of full build out as well, too. But there is like a real, just like kind of like, I don't even know what the term of it, but there's just like a stabbiness. Hey, yo, pause. Whoa. To the beats here, where nothing's really kind of like flowed quite yet. Everything's been kind of like bop, 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 bop. Like, I don't know, chat. We need somebody to just like get on a flow here and drop some bars. And again, maybe that, I don't know if that's the beat. Maybe it's more the cadences over the beat. But just everybody's cadence so far. It is what it is, chat. Somebody get young Dro to switch up the flow. If we go back to that verse, maybe actually tap into this Quavo verse. Lil Ratchet goes trim. Sucks. Content, get it on film. Go live. Hey, yo, chat. I want to go back to this part where the ad lib just goes sucks. Hey, yo. Full course meal. She ate up the drip. She want to go through there, yeah? Pop me one name, trying to get fried. Take another piece of the pill. Fried! Gassed up shoddy, up through there. The crew like a rocket for real. I told her, charge me up, my phone died. She going Nakia, yeah. So is he shouting out Nakia? Reference to Drake's Nokia, yeah. So wait, is this another segment of Rem is bad at reading rap lyrics, or am I not getting the rhyme scheme quite right? I may have to go back and listen to that one more time. Okay, loose screws. What's going on there, Chad? Hey, yo. So, wait, YK Nice. Take her there, bust her down. Just like the watch. Whoa, Chad. Her on Tuesday. Then get that right out that spot. Whoa, Chad. She effing with blood on him? Rem can't say rap words. Another segment of that. They ain't they ain't having a lot. They be having no mother effing motion, chat. Hey, yo. She don't know what she's doing. They're just giving it out. Wait, who is this again? YK Niece. Shout out. Girl, throw your wham in the circle. Even if you little, make it jump like a hurdle. Girl, throw your wham in the circle. Even, run the bar back, chat. Hey, yo. It's like, this is a bar. I gotta say this twice. Even if you little, make it jump like a hurdle. Even if you that mother effing small, throw the... Okay, chat. YK Niece out here like, dropping crazy verses on the Metro Boomin album. Shout out. But, great performance. I guess we go back and dig into that one a little bit later. Loose Screws? Oh, wait, what was that singing performance? Who's on this one? Okay, Shad to God in Schoolie. Hey, yo. We got Meg. Oh, chat. She looked Megan good. Yeah, she fine. Oh, chat, I'm in on this song. I don't know what the rest of this is, but we were just saying on the last album review, which shout out to Alfredo too. I don't know if we're doing a comparison afterwards, but once again, shout out Alfredo too. But we were saying in that just in general, we feel like the lack, and again, maybe we need to listen to more new guys. Like we were saying that as part of it. But I was wondering where we were at in terms of shouting out celebrity talent in that type of way and using names like that in songs. Because I feel like we had gotten away from it a little bit. And like I'm saying, I just didn't know how some of the next generation stuff was getting used. And maybe again, it wasn't, I guess there was 2 points to it. It was not just how are we calling it out, and again, like Megan Good, I mean, timeless as well too, but are the how are the references being updated, and like who are the modern versions of that? So I think we said on the last live stream Sydney Sweeney, and then I don't know if we saw the ad before that. I don't know if that changes our opinion, chat. I guess we'll have to take a look at those genes again. But yeah, if there's like who are just the top, celebrity crush people that you could be shouting out in songs. So again, Megan Good, shout out, timeless chat. Hey yo. So we're glad to see that it's back in the mix as well too. But so wait, who is it? Doesn't say on the intro, I guess, who this is, but regardless, it's still a bar. It is what it is. And I guess they don't run it back in terms of the reference to another celebrity. But that one had another fun energy as well too. Again, it felt like we got a little bit more of a singing performance on that one, in some more melodic stuff. And we did get Quavo and stuff with some bars. So, we've had some rap focus. Okay, so Metro and Zaytoven, but we got Zaytoven on the intro, so this is probably more of Zaytoven. And then Young Dro, shout out. Wait, chat, I might have to restart. What's going on with this beat here? This one caught my attention. Did we get back this up? Hey, yo, pause, back it up. I don't know if we can find sample information. I almost felt like I knew where it was from there for a second, chat. But I don't know if I can quite... I don't know if that talent... I don't even know if it is a sample at this point. But it had the vibes of another song. But I don't know if I can quite figure out what that song is at that point. It does have the vibes of some Lil Uzi Vert type beat, maybe, from back in the day. And I don't know if necessarily... And maybe... the sort of, kind of melodic-y performance over it as well, too, is helping that as a reference point. But it's given kind of that type vibe. I mean, again, Metro's in that era of him making music coming up. I mean, those guys, I don't know what necessarily their collaboration history is. I'm not thinking of it off the top. But that's just because we just need to go back through Uzi's library a little bit more. So, like, the 3 songs that we listened to. But it's given me vibes of that type of beat for some reason. So maybe he is, throwback-ish, maybe that kind of SoundCloudy type stuff with some of the beats. I don't know. But either way, I'm kind of like, and, a little more chilled out overall with the vocal performances. I don't know if this would be one where you could throw bars over it, or you need, because again, Uzi is mixing on a performance like back in the day, he'll have a little sing rap type stuff on the verse, and then maybe break out into a singing performance on a hook, and give you that balance back and forth. So we're still, getting a verse chorus situation here, but it feels a little bit more melodic all the way through. Which, shout out, they're crushing, chat. They're crushing. Ooh, Total Swagger. Who said that? Oh wait, Gnarls Barkley. We got a Gnarls Barkley shout out. It is what it is. I thought it was Charles Barkley, of course, and I scrolled past it. But it's Gnarls, so still good enough. Shout out, pause. Legendary stuff. But yeah, maybe if there's a little bit more of an attempt to drop some bars on this, but it still fits the chill vibe of this song. So it works. And wait a second, who is featured again? Oh yeah, Young Dro on this. I guess is just the solo. So is this the first solo track of the album? I guess here, let me see. Yeah, it doesn't have the features listed on the phone yet as well, too. Am I just not looking at it right? Is there a different version of the album I can search up that has features listed? Maybe if I reload, it probably will just load up at some point tomorrow. We'll get the features on it. Oh, well. It is what it is. But, yeah, so I guess Young Dro with a big stage set on top. And I guess this is just a shift in tone in the album in general, because we're still a little bit more, not quite as like we were saying, maybe a little more aux heavy in the front. And this is these beats kind of filling out a little. It feels like they're you know, not as just like kind of like just like so ba 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 like we were saying. But this is a little more bars here. Here, who's on this track? Oh, Young Dro, Chad. ISO Young Dro. It is what it is. The man is taking over. He's in the studio just outperforming all these guys. So it's a Young Dro Metro album. Hey, shout out. Pee Wee Roscoe on the outro. I guess we're scrolling ahead on Genius here. I don't know who Pee Wee Roscoe is. Not listed as an actual feature. Is that a character on the album maybe? I don't know. But shout out. Great name either way. Somebody take it as a name if they're not. Now and Laters. Eat 'em like Now and Laters. Catch Me Rockin'. Leading with the Crocs and the Gators. True Religion Jeans. I got Ralph Lauren Paper. Hater drops us off. Man, they only add flavor. That's not a bad chorus, Chad. Young Dro. Yeah, this might be best beat on the album so far. I don't know. Is this #1 song? Wait, is this Zaytoven on this beat? Yeah, we got Zaytoven tag. Uh-oh, Chad. We gotta lock in. We gotta mute. Okay, that was definitely a cool chorus that we listened to. What was this bar that we just got? Riding with the Toolies, broads wanna do me, Dep Fresh Louie, Iceberg Goofy, Cartier's on. Look Goofy, Bullhorn Shoddy, make your main a groupie. Hey, yo, Chad. Okay, you know, he's kind of barring up here. For sure. 30-inch rims. Wait till they see the vet truck. Drop top popular, got all kind of flavor. Oh, and then back with the Eat 'em like Now and Later as well too, and then back into the pre-chorus, Eat 'em like Now and Later. Catch Me Rockin', leaning with the Crocs and Gators. True Religion Jeans. I got Ralph Lauren Paper. Haters drop us off, man. They only add flavor. So shout out Young Dro. We'll see Young Dro 3 tracks in a row, chat. Back to back to back. He's heating up. Do we have to go NBA Jam with Young Dro after this one? We got the outro as well too. You got your what's going on here? You got your old school ready. You got your old school ready. You got your new school ready. We selling like smoke. This is a futuristic Summa. Everything new. We got the money. 25, 26. Oh, chat. That's what he means by futuristic Summa. 2026. He's like, these hits are going to be next summer. You guys thought I was talking futuristic summer, like have for fun for this summer. But it's August. I mean summer for 2026. So was that one of the re-edits? Go back and add 2025 and 2026 in that little outro right there. And just say, yeah, the album futuristic summer means timeless. Hey, yo, chat. It is what it is. Okay, so now we've got a full-on singing performance. It's a party. That's just the title of the track. Young Dro's back. Meanie. And Shad to God and Jose Guapo. Oh, Jose Guapo might be winning with best name of the night. Though Shad to God is not bad, but I mean, you know, to God as a tag has definitely been used a couple times for sure. So Jose Guapo, it's always good when it's like, oh, is that his name? Is his name just Jose Guapo? But also, it's like, did he come up with that as a rap name as well too? So shout out Meanie. Jose Guapo might go get the follow over on Spotify, chat. It is what it is. Now we're back a little bit more triumphant here. I like this, chat. I like the pace of the album, kind of taking you through a little bit of a vibe there on disc 1. And to be honest, that does make it nice to listen to. Again, if it's a disc 1, disc 2 situation, like you can kind of see that this 11, I guess, what is it, 11, so 24, so it's 12 and 12? Or is it like a 10 and 9 situation as well? But either way, you can say like this 11-12 track situation is a really great listen, because with any album, you know, 24 tracks in a row of, you know, that's a lot of tracks in a row for sure. I think, you know, hour 18, I think hour 20 plus is really a commitment for an album for sure, for a listening experience for an album. But as long as you're hour 15 under, and, you know, quality, ayo. But, you know, you can listen to hour 15 for an album, for sure. it definitely depends. Like, that's the sneaky thing with, you know, Good Kid, Mad City with some of the skits, and you got a 2-part song in there as well, too, is you have 13 tracks, but he's able to, you know, push it a little bit. And then, you know, the deluxe version, of course, you definitely get an over an hour with those bonus cut songs on there. But the main version of it anyways. But, you know, still for if you're just going, hey, I want to listen to one side or whatever, and I guess, you know, not necessarily a typical like vinyl experience, but just the formatting idea of the little vibe that you get from disc 1, you can see the nice little journey that you're taking here of a little triumphant start, kind of cruising in the middle. Now we're kind of picking it back up a little bit. You know, we'll let young Dro clear out for a second there in the middle. Bring some features back in. And maybe disc 2 was the add-on disc. I guess we don't know exactly how the track list is formatted with that. Or, you know, again, he's probably just not collecting you know, a verse or two from each of his guys. Add them together on a couple of tracks. But regardless, I mean, there's a good chance that, you know, at least a couple of these tracks, I mean, maybe, I'm going to say maybe the last 4 at most would be like the ones really stacked with. And I guess we did get what was Young Thug. I got to go back. I should have remembered when Young Thug was already in the album. But was it the first or the second track that we got? No, J Money. Maybe I'm just thinking, I just saw Young Dro, and I'm just, you know, Young Dro a million times. Like, one of them was Young Thug, right? But no, just, they're all just Young Dro. It is what it is. But, and I guess he did say that we were getting, did he say we were getting Thug? I don't know. I don't think he said we were getting Thug. Actually, no, I think he said we were getting a lot of guys. So I don't think one of them was Thug, though, unfortunately. I don't know, Chad. I can't keep up with the beef. Is he side? I guess he did say that they were maybe adding Lil Baby. So maybe that would explain it. But either way, Future and stuff I was saying, yeah, we haven't seen them on the album as well, too. But yeah, what was this next one here? Clap? This is a real heavy hitter, chat. Hey, yo, we've turned up the energy a little bit. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Let's go, chat. Anytime we get, are we getting gun sound ad-libs? What's going on here? I don't know what. Oh, no, we're getting, oh, clap ad-libs? What's going on? Wait a second. Did I just click onto a clean version of the album? Chat, I just looked at the version and just noticed there was no ease on any of these songs. It is what it is. I was like, wait, they dropped a clean single in the middle of this album? Like, shout out to Metro Boomin. They're just clapping along. Ayo, pause. But I guess not. Okay, starting the first retake, start running it back situation because we got to go from the PG-13 to the adult album, I guess. It is what it is. But yeah, this was fun as well, too. Yeah, Waka Flocka. Oh, here we go. Oh, Gucci. Gucci was the guy we got earlier for the legendary guys. So we got Gucci, Waka Flocka, and Quavo for our generation of guys, I guess. Unless, you know, Young Dro's like a underground guy from... Is he a legendary old underground guy, or is he a new face of the... You know, I don't know, but we'll see. Oh, chat, what's it? Bow wow, bow wow, bow wow, fat, 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 clap, 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 Waka Flocka in his bag, chat. Hey, yo, it is what it is. Is this gonna be Waka Flocka Song of the Summer? You know, was he, and Waka Flocka was also on Jack Boys 2? So, I mean, man's popping up, chat. Am I wrong? Was he not on Jack Boys 2? Am I misremembering the intro track on that project? Or at least I thought he was featured early on. Let's see. So, you know, you get Waka Flocka. You don't even need another feature on the track. It is what it is. Waka Flocka's got things to say. Oh, Shaq West. I am wrong, Chad. Shaq West is the guy, of course, as he is a part of the Jack Boys. But pause. Whoa. Hey, yo. But Waka Flocka, I think he could definitely, you know, casting what ifs. Could we recast Waka Flocka in the album? Or Shaq West, Waka Flocka? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe not. Well, you know, Shaq West, pretty legendary, of course. But shout out to the Waka Flocka performance on Clap, chat. It is what it is. It definitely felt a little heavier. Ayo, pause. When the track started. I guess, you know, he's just dropping the bass in and out, of course. But this has definitely been very dominated, it feels like. And, you know, I'm also listening. You know, I probably should be, you know, listening with a little more volume up. So I was going to say, it's been very dominated by the bass and drums, but that's, hey, Rem, your speaker is turned down quiet. So, you know, as we do the earbud listen, we'll get to really dive into the rest of the beats, I guess. But for now, but it does feel a little bit more, you know, basic than some, not basic, but, you know, feel a little bit more, those things are on the focus of this. Oh, but here we go. Yeah, I guess I turned it back up. But this track, we're getting back in. And I guess we should double check the features on this one as well, too. Are they following up a solo with the collective? Is that the pattern, chat? Oh, no, we got Roscoe Dash on the solo. Roscoe Dash, YK Nice on the intro. But Roscoe Dash on the song. So what do we got? We got like the Nokia flow on this. He's like, hey, chat, have I forgotten the words to Nokia? Oh, well, I forgot it because of song's not playing right now. But quit teasing me. I can tell you you're leaving me. I never said leaving me. That definitely that's about all I remember for Nokia at this point, chat. But I felt like he caught a Nokia flow there for a second. And, you know, this has got a little, I don't know if Metro's kind of inspired by. It's got a little Nokia-esque energy to the beats a little bit. And maybe this is just, you know, the style, again, of a lot of the up and, you know, the next generation-y type guys. But he is, you know, again, collaborating with a lot of the melodic pop kind of, you know, again, you want to say, like, there's a lot of, again, is Playboi Carti the basic one to point at? But there's a lot of that energy, of course, in a lot of the guys he's collaborating. So, again, it's me kind of catching up to some of these newer faces. But still, you know, again, interesting choice for Metro for collaboration and just to see where he's taking his sound and at least trying to expand and experiment with in this project, you know. And this is a little bit of a different sounding project for Metro, because even again, like the projects that he did last time with Future, I would say that, you know, arguably We Still Don't Trust You is the one that is the more unique for Metro's discography itself, because there is, again, a sort of dark cinematic energy to a lot of the project that he did before, and then that kind of, he puts all the pieces together in Heroes and Villains, and you get sort of his peak cinematic value, and then obviously just great beats and great performances from all the features as well, too. But even there's some, you know, like Everyday Struggle and stuff, or Everyday Struggle, ayo, shout out, rest in peace, shout out the Notorious, but, yeah, what's it called, Everyday Hustle on We Don't Trust You is, you know, kind of a soul sample, a little bit more of an upbeat type cut, but there is a lot of, again, those kind of darker, trappy type beats on that album, and this does have a little bit, again, Futuristic Summer, he's talking in that Tyler vein of getting up and dancing. I don't know if they were talking to each other about their vibes and their promo patterns and, you know, what they were doing for their next albums or whatever. Or if they're, you know, did they both enter the same prompt into ChatGPT? What do people want to see for music in 2025? And just, you know, they both got the same result. They're like, people just want to dance, I guess. So I don't know if that's their rollout. But, you know, again, there is a little bit more of a poppy type energy to this project. But that is what is, again, fun with We Still Don't Trust You. And why that is, and again, you could say a future project as well. It's a collaboration project, of course. And then at that point, a lot of times, the artist can become the focal point of the project when it is in equal value in that type of way. But that is for both of those guys, and for Metro as well, too. Like we're saying, that sort of turn into the R&B and some of the smoother, more chill beats is a fun turn for Metro, and that's one of the albums that I just love the version, yeah, obviously for all albums, but I really love the version of the album that I have saved into the playlist. That would be a fun bit to do at some point, would be, what are the best albums that are improved by the way you save the songs? And again, that's all subjective at that point, totally, and as all music is, of course, but it's like, okay, not only am I saying that, like, there, again, it's like there are different versions of the one album that you might like, because if there's 25 songs in the album, there's obviously different combinations of like the 10 to whatever, and if there is 10, but the 7 to 14 to 18 songs you might like. I'm trying to think here. I'll look it up on this here real quick, what I all have saved. And I guess, see, the problem is as well too, I don't always rely on myself for the saving part of it, because I do oftentimes search up a song just in general to queue up via the album, or I'll just search it up in the search bar as well too. So sometimes I'll just forget to save a song in a playlist. It's like I've been playing it so much or I've been searching it up so much that I haven't even needed to save it into the playlist. It's like I'm always just searching this out and playing it. But here, let me see what I would have had saved for this album. And with Spotify as well too, you can search multiple different versions of the album, so sometimes you can have different songs saved. So again, not to say that this album I think is a very subjective album for which songs you like, but if I'm trying to make sure that I get all the songs that I actually like in the list as well too. But I guess looking at this, I have We Still Don't Trust You, of course, the intro track. This Sunday, amazing interlude, All to Myself, Nights Like This, Came to the Party, Right for You, Overload, Gracious, Red Leather, featuring J. Cole. So this one was 25 songs, an hour 28. But again, you kind of cut this album, and I might go back and, chat next gym session. Hey, yo, a little Metro Boomin, we Still Don't Trust You, start to finish. Just run the whole thing back and see what we got. Because we got more of it saved than I remember, honestly. And I'm, it's one of those things like, wait, why didn't I save these? If I have most of it saved, I was just being probably picky at that point and just haven't gone back. I guess some of the cuts, if we look at some of the streaming numbers, kind of match. But then again, this album is kind of an album of cuts at this point. But this is a more mix up, different vibe type album from both these type of guys. And some really interesting beats, some really fun nighttime driving, kind of future, more laid back, chilled out vocal performances. And I don't want to say, again, I might have to go back and spin back both these albums from start to finish, because I don't want to say that his performance on this one is better than We Still Don't Trust You, but I don't know if I would say I don't know if I at least approached it with that premise. I don't know if I would be wrong as well too. Again, we'd have to run it back and see if that actually bears out. But regardless, this again, so I guess this is for Metro then 2 projects in a row, technically, where he is mixing up his sound. And I guess, if we're now kind of maybe spinning back on something we're saying, we're like, oh, there's Dark Cinematic Vitals project. But, with the, I'm not necessarily counting the Spider-Verse album in that point when I'm saying it. I'm thinking more just kind of his solo studio albums. But if we are, again, looking at the projects that he has made, like Spider-Verse, Futuristic Summa, We Still Don't Trust You. So I guess, a lot of commercial projects in there. Where's the artistic vision, Metro Boomin? But also, again, different types of projects. There's going to be a certain sound and aesthetic that you're going to need to have for Spider-Verse, and then you're going with the more traditional kind of, but still with the more advanced production techniques. We Don't Trust You, and then like I said, We Still Don't Trust You, more little R&B, and then what the more kind of poppy, upbeat. I guess what is even like hey yo, it is Playboy Cardi just SoundCloud rap? What do you even call that type of rap, chat? I guess it's rave music, right? Rage music, rave music, but there's got to be another term for it as well too. Not like auto-tune rap or something like that. I don't know, but that kind of whatever that type of sound type of stuff is. Where again, even on Jack Boys 2, it felt like Travis was maybe going for that a little bit as well, leaning into some of that type of sound stuff a little bit. So wait, Still Turned? Are we on the outro track for... Oh wait, so it's a 13 and 11. 13 tracks on disc 1, 11 on disc 2. I guess not totally equal, but Still Turned, the last track for disc 1. So, yeah, great, like I was saying, nice, great flow for the album, for the beats, and a great way to carry you through a good vibe for this. So, if he is giving you two separate sort of experiences, and again, a nice diverse mix of artists, there is a good curation attempt here again at a 24 song project, where if Drake is the other, sort of comparison for dropping maybe a little too bloated projects, sometimes it feels like there is bloat, but then could also maybe also be a lack of structure in the album where songs could just kind of be placed throughout. And then, he's also Drake, where oh, wait, did I just have it paused? It's like, okay, it just goes quiet at this point. But there we go. We're back. Songs are going. But, he can get to the point as well, too, because of, he's just makes good music. But also, again, he's just a beloved guy that, for his fans as well. But his songs can have sort of a second life, and people can go back and revisit them and be like, oh, and like for myself, be like, I kind of like these songs that I was hating on at first. But for actually structuring in an initial listen, and again, you kind of thinking, if I have to go back and revisit this thing, and it's also, again, the intention to revisit it, but sometimes it's also getting lost when you're revisiting something as well, too, where the album is good, and you kind of are in that, not say that you're in the, I was going to say you're in the in-between phase of like, oh, I'm like locked in, and then the in-between is like, oh, let me skip this. Like, for the most part, like, it would have to be something, again, totally new at this point where it's like, okay, I have to stop what I'm doing and obviously lock in. For music, that would be even more difficult than for like a movie or a TV show. Actually, maybe not. Maybe a movie, if you're just like, if you're in the middle of something and you have to stop and like, wait a second, what's happening? Or like, wait a second, what was that I just heard? But the, again, sort of initialist, and then just getting, when you play the album and just sort of like, oh, wait a second, that's been playing. Yeah, it's really good. There's been a good album listening experience here, a good diverse mix of artists, a good set of different songs to kind of change the flow up throughout. And even, what do we got? Drip Barbecue here for disc 2. Like, wait a second, we got a little like, we got vocals or just kind of a different, synth. Yeah, he's kind of got the horns back in for this intro track for disc number 2. And it does feel, again, like we've reset the energy. We're back a little bit strong, but a little bit different from disc 1 as well. So I don't know if he's setting us up for even just a little bit different listening experience here as well. But this is a fun track. I don't know, disc 2, chat. Maybe disc 2 is the better track listing. Who knows? Whoa, I just skipped ahead to You Deserve. Okay, wait a second. Drip Barbecue. We were somewhere in the middle. We were right there, chat. A minute 27. We'll just call it good. It is what it is. Okay, wait a second. Who's even featured on this, chat? Where's Future? He promised Future. He's going to make us listen to 20 tracks before we get to the future feature. It is what it is. But that's our guy. Shad to God getting his turn. And he actually, I was going to say, listening to him rap here, he's kind of rapping, Shad. Looking at the Genius verse, it's actually like, the lines are actually, we got some words in the lines. It's not just every fifth word line break. I mean, shout out, that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes for the rhyme scheme, I guess it's important, but let that money fly. F it. We done trapped to Mars, boy. When you swag like this, I got some old you can borrow, boy. Blank rolling, busting out your pocket. Still, we call them thigh pads. We the ones that broke the scale. Serving out the trap bag. Let the money fly. We done trapped to Mars, boy. When you swag like this, I got some hoes you can borrow, boy. So is he rhyming Mars, boy, with borrow? And boy again, I guess. But, hey, at least he's, he's dropping bars. Yeah, we still turn. Yeah, we still turn. Yeah, we still turn, chat. Hey, yo. Really, in his bag for this pre-chorus here. Antique on my pants. True's gon' show. Always Jim Jones. Crowheart on my hat. Goyard for my belt with the bag to match. My life a movie. You know I'm living fast. Still lit when they found me. Did my first song when I was 16 and it worked. Money swag Montclair. Watch her twerk. Oh, sit down for that work. Hit my chirp. Okay, chat. Wait, so that was verse 1? So what was... Oh, the chorus. The thigh pads bar was in the chorus. So the thigh pads, trap bag, back glad. We just splash. That rhyme scheme was in the chorus. Okay, so we opened with the chorus. Shout out. Okay, so verse 1, you know, kind of dropping bars a little bit. Yeah, then back in with the chorus. So wait, post-chorus. I thought it was... I'm not even reading anything correctly here, chat. That said pre-chorus. It is what it is. So yeah, we still turn. I guess I could just be listening to the song, but it is what it is. And Metro back on the outro. And how can we have outros and interludes on a Metro Boomin album without our guy Morgan Freeman, chat? It is what it is. A Futuristic Summa, even still, I feel like that's a must. Even with all the past collaborators that he went to work with after delaying the album, he couldn't get Morgan Freeman to, and shout out to Morgan Freeman. I don't know if he's in the capacity, but AI, he could AI some Morgan Freeman bars into here. He can't go buy the rights to use. He can't. There's not like an agreement between Metro and the Morgan Freeman estate that's like, yes, Metro can use Morgan Freeman's voice in his albums to narrate because it's iconic, chat. I was listening again. Speaking of Metro at the gym, I mean, it was perfect. I was gonna listen to Metro Boomin at the gym today, but then, of course, Don Toliver is on one of like the first 2 tracks on Heroes and Villains. So then it was like, well, I guess I'm just listening to a couple of Don Toliver songs now at this point. I guess it's a Don Toliver day. But yeah, and it's like, okay, well, we'll be back. Just cue up a couple and then we'll be right back into the Metro album. It is what it is. We got to warm up anyway, so we got room for a couple of Don Toliver songs in here. But yeah, I mean, again, going back to, and I was queuing up some songs from the old albums, of course. It's like you just queue up a song, you're just like, oh yeah, there's Morgan Freeman on this album. How is this never a win? But shout out, of course, an era of music that is legendary. And speaking of collaborations in rap, chat, probably one of the collaborations that will go underrated and not brought up a lot, but should definitely be up there in all-time stuff. The hit rate between Morgan Freeman is Metro Boomin, Morgan Freeman's best collaborator. Hey, yo, chat. We will have to, I guess, dissect that one. His best frequent collaborator is Metro Boomin. It is what it is. Shout out Morgan Freeman, great career. Just watched him in a movie with Gene Hackman the other day. It is what it is. Tubi, auto-queued it up for us. I don't know how it just knew, chat. It's like, what movie do you want to watch next? Oh, probably the one with Morgan Freeman and Gene Hackman in it. It's like, yeah, you know what? If those 2 guys are on screen, I'm probably not going to be turning it off. It is what it is. Pause. But, wait, make it make sense. Oh, chat, we skipped a couple here. Rocco, shout out. Rocco on the feature. Bought a Lamborghini. You ain't got no house. Blew your PPP and you ain't even fixed your mouth. Asked to borrow money, but don't Instagram you're rich. Claim you a gangsta. Paperwork say you a snitch. Ooh, chat, Rocco. Where's Rocco been at this entire album, chat? Hey, yo. And he does have a little, almost like some AZ Chike kind of flow here. In that kind of that slow speak type flow. I need to listen. I've been thinking about going through his solo catalog a little bit more. It is, I guess the one guy now it's time to go through the Fabio Foreign solo catalog. It is what it is. But like I said, we're behind the times, chat. So it is a shout out to Fabio Foreign, I guess. But yeah, I was like, wait a second, we haven't gone through this album yet, and it's been out for a couple years. It is what it is. But yeah, shout out to Rocco. So Paperwork say you a snitch. Your best friend started rapping, ask you to post him on your page. You say no, he go to jail. You post him, free him every day. Ooh, chat, the irony. See, I mean, the friend wanted to post him on the page, but now he's got to post a friend on his page. Hey, yo, yikes. But your little homie making clothes, you ain't support him. Heavy work. When he died, You was first. You put his face on a shirt. Everybody wanted a handout. They ain't trying to work for her. Give them a job laying down. They gonna stand on ya and quit. How we beefing, I don't know ya. Telling PP wanna fight. Hate me from a fake page. Why you following if you don't like me, homie? Wait, how does he rhyme that real quick? Let me go back to verse 1. Because I don't think I read that properly, but that's how it reads when I was reading it. Tell him you want to fight. Why you following if you don't like me, homie? So I don't know if he just kind of adds that in. So wait, is this verse 2 here? Let me listen. Oh, I missed it, Chad. I missed it. Wait a second. Let me go back real quick. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's not too far off from what I said, but the flow is definitely better. Shout out to guy Rocco. There is a reason why he is at the top of his game right now. But not a bad first verse, Chad. Honestly, Rocco might have the best bars so far. I'm not sure. You at the mall, you ain't shopping. Booty club, you ain't tipping. Whoa, chat, that's rude. Last year we're banging. Whoa, chat, man. This year I hear spent 300 for the case. Protect your phone. What you raw on every girl, yeah, Rabone. Whoa, Rocco. Hey, yo, chat. A little double entendre there. This is like maybe the best double entendre we've gotten in the album so far. What you raw dog every girl you ever bought. Shout out to Rocco. Me and you just hanging out. IT, cut that out. Me and you just hanging out. I understand it. I understand it that we cool. Ran into you with my boo. You tried to cut the fool. That was rude. Jet lag. Saw you with yo dude. I kept it kept it smooth. What the F you going on with you? They gonna scream blowhorn. They gonna scream bullhorn. Bullshit gonna be on. That you do some beneficial. You barely get a whisper. Dating bodies. Dating all good. Okay, you withdraw, she deposit. Whoa, P-shaped just like a wallet. Hey, yo, chat. Rocco, we call it best bars, and he canceled us right away. But, going for the double entendres. So some rhyme schemes in here that read kind of nice. And a fun, catchy hook. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Again, speaking of Drake flows, Drake had that other song on Some Sexy Song For You where he had that hook phrase like 17 times in a row. Just singing it over again. Was that the something for you, something for you, something for you? I don't know, but this is Rocco's version. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It is what it is. But there is I like that. So Metro Boomin, he's trying, chat. He's trying to run back like that with I like that. I don't know if he just blocked his own song in the search by naming it by the biggest hit off his last album. But close enough. 2 Chainz, Waka Flocka Flame, and Roscoe Dash. Are we going to get bars like beef on this, chat? Is 2 Chainz beefing with somebody on I Like That? Or is Waka Flocka going to start a rap beef on this song as well, too? The Kirk Cousins I Like That bar, that could be in reference to this. Maybe. And that bar has some beef energy to it. Who knows? So wait a second. We're not getting it. Literally, I don't think we've had any Genius Sanitation for about 4 songs at this point. It is what it is. Maybe more. And I think the last one was just like a note to say that, yes, this is in reference to Nokia from Drake. So been a while since we've gotten anything along those lines. But this would be the time. If they were beefing with somebody specific, this would be the time for Genius to show up. So I'm not seeing anything, unfortunately. So I like that. I don't know. Maybe a secret Kendrick feature not listed. It doesn't look like that as well. And not the same type of horns as well, too. Not the same area of production. A little bit more, less trap, kind of more. Not less trap, but The other one was a little bit more, and it was Kendrick being really aggressive as well, too. I guess it's a little more sing-song, triumphant, more attack energy. You know, Future was kind of, I don't know if he recorded his verse after the Kendrick verse, but he was definitely on some kind of, he was like, okay, I'll follow the attack energy a little bit of Kendrick, in a way, on the verse here. But we got a Phineas and Ferb reference. That's the first thing that stood out. She going on that rope like nerds on chat. That's Roscoe Dash. Maybe he just took the lead with the best bar in the best bar in the album. She going on that rope like nerds. I be killing that like Purge. Can't in my lane. Can't get in my lane. Can't merge. Whoa. Roscoe Dash. I intentionally hit that curb. A lot of go drop like turds. She the brains Phineas Ferb. Pockets full of that cheese. Like curd. Whoa, shout out Culvers. My coupe came with the wings like birds. She don't be shy like Travis Pastrana. She taken right on me now. She came with the saddle, stroke like a paddle, catch rain with the cloud. She with the devil, she dropping it down, and then she turned me too loud. Got a handful of ones right now. Took her to the the room look upside down. Oh, Roscoe Dash. Okay. Turn away. Let the man have his privacy. But we got the baddest broads catching the swoops, throwing these ones at the roof, trying to get in about the loot. Girls on girls, watching them act a fool. So chat, just lots of Drake references in a Metro Booming album, where Metro Booming, not only was on the producing the album that dissed Drake and led to the beef, but also just was involved in it himself directly as well too. Also dropped a very direct Drake diss track himself. And it seems like, again, I don't want to say paying homage. So again, it's not Metro, it's the bars, and it makes sense. Okay, every rapper that's, under whatever age is going to reference Drake and have Drake sort of things because they like Drake. Hot take. Hey, yo. But there is quite a few that you're like, hey, wait a second, what's going on here? It is what it is. Girls on girls. So maybe, again, that's just how popular he is. At any time, a phrase that maybe he has said or referenced or whatever, it's like, that's just the genius annotation of my own brain. It's like, oh, it's obviously a Drake reference. But I imagine it's a little bit intentional as well, too. 2 Chainz, Tony might close the so what Bracken Boo, Bottega and Gucci, I'm tacking too. So maybe nobody's done the genius references on here for this one. Is this a Tony Braxton shout out? I'm not smart enough. Oh, it has to be. What's Bracken Boo, right? That has to be Tony Braxton. So shout out 2 Chainz. We got Megan Good and Tony Braxton shout outs. It is what it is. She a young thug, Cleveland Avenue. Got her mansion. I'm back too. I'm back into. If your mind right, we compatible. I take your hoe like Adderall. I take your hoe like a shroom. Turn a Lambo to a room. See the store, go get a broom. Send your hoe, choose it on Zoom. I welcome you to the land. Got back ends on rack ends. Introduce her to my man. You know what I mean, what I do. Don't mean you, a prostitute. So, chat, I don't know. You see a legend like 2 Chainz for some of these bars. I mean, some of these guys are holding their own. But, you just see 2 Chainz rhyme scheme just a little bit. Turn up. Cleveland Ave. The compatible Adderall. Take your roll like a shroom. Turn your Lambo into a room. See a store, go get a broom. Not a bad little rhyme scheme. I mean, I'm saying, the most complicated, but 2 Chainz having fun with his flow. That's always the point. 2 Chainz, always a win. Anytime 2 Chainz pops up. Speaking of hit rates, chat, 2 Chainz features, I don't know. Has there ever been a bad one at this point? We'll do the research and get back to you. We're going to have to get science on it at this point. It is what it is. But, wait, is this still... No, this is birthday at this point. I was going to say, this does not sound like 2 Chainz on this one. But, yo, Young Thug! We do got Young Thug, chat. And Schooly and Young Book? I don't know. Can we say that? I don't know what I'm allowed to say these days. I don't know if it's that. So we're just gonna. I don't know if we can call him YB as well too. But young. I mean, is it supposed to be Young Brook? What's going on here, Chad? Young Bookie? I don't know. I feel like I just said something cancelable, but shout out to Young Thug as well too. So wait, let's get this Young Thug verse. Young Thug, very not PG-13 rated. It is what it is. I miss the days when we were hustling. I'm in a Benz. I came from a bucket. She effed me good. I went to bussin'. She cheat again. Oh, I cheat again. Oh, Young Thug. Oh, shame. She still loved me. I let it in. I don't read nothing. Let me save your grace and get this paper. I'm a birthday boy. I got my cake up. They told me not to They told me not to let him play with us. Soon as you step, they get to hating ya. And here we go. We got Thug and Schoolie together. I made my main man part of the plan. I'm putting up mills up just for my kids. I run it up. I'm not with that plan. We blowing cake every day like it's a birthday. Birthday A. Yeah, it's my time. Have a turn day. Okay, chat. Young Thug, not bad. Not bad. I would say 2 Chainz, still a little better than the Young Thug verse at this point. We gotta definitely, I don't know if he wrote this on his birthday specifically or if there was something else going on that day that had him in a mood, but, definitely a couple of references to that specific event and, a couple of cake references in here, chat. It is what it is, but shout out Schoolie as well, too. Does he reference that in his songs? He does not. But Young Buki does, chat. I open up my gift now. I get what I deserve. I'm in the middle of a get down. I'm getting on her nerves. Like, can you feed me cake? Can I hear cake? Can I blow my candles out? I'm still getting on your paper. So, he's just stealing Young Thug's lines basically and calling it his own verse. And is that his verse as well too? Shout out to the jumping on the song, I guess, as well. They're like, get in here and say a couple of bars. It is what it is. I don't know if there's some Dreamville vibes. The futuristic Summa camp at this point. But, yeah, that is basically the contribution. Or like a Baby Keem level contribution as well, too. Just jump on for how many ad-libs can you say here real quick? Can you just give us like 2 or 3 ad-libs? And we'll be good to go. But let's see here. Now it is Don't Stop Dancing. So Don't Stop. Oh, and Lil Baby. So here we go, chat. Disc 2 might be the disc as well. I think like I said, many times, but the flow of the production in disc 1, maybe I did like that a little bit better. Again, just initial reaction. We'll have to see how this one continues to play out. And this is, I think, maybe a better start. There's like better songs on this, but maybe start to finish listen, disc 1 is better. I guess that'll be more determined on the revisit as well too. But again, we're also getting some more heavy hitter features that we're familiar with on some of these tracks in disc 2 as well. So shout out the Lil Baby feature verse, I guess, verse 1 for this. But now you deserve T.I. Whoa! T.I., our guy, chat. The king is back. Hey, yo. Came from Grove Park, balling out at Goyard. Am I saying that right? That new Bentley so hard. Tell me what I owe for it. Oh, Lord, rub that. Let me see. Get into it. Oh, Lord, chat. T.I., look up at the stars. I can take you up to it. You can take a nap now if you ain't up to it. Got a bed full of more like fluid. Hey, yo, so T.I. gets the intro. He gets the verse 1. Oh, and T.I., he's cooking a little bit here. Okay, T.I. gets a verse. So Young Dro, I don't know if him and Roscoe Dash are like, this is a chance to go toe-to-toe with the legend. Hopefully they definitely do because T.I. is one of the all-time greats. Shoddy, I'm too playa. Address my P, do it carefully. Shoddy, can't you tell? I've been on the road for a minute. In control for a minute. Know you always gotta play by the throne when I'm in it. I just feel like we ain't going on in a minute. Give it to you long, make you moan when I'm in it. Dope boy. West Side, always been him. SS in him. Peel out, don't stop. Air Max, no socks. A hat, white tee. Ooh-wee, I think auntie like me. Okay, chat, we got there with T.I. Hey, yo. I was going to say that felt a little classic kind of T.I. fun bars at the end. Some of the middle bars here, I just don't really know what we're going for with the flow. But peel out, don't stop, Air Max, no socks, a hat, white tee, ooh-ee, I think auntie like me. Like, that's actually a good use of the shorter flow as well, too. Maybe the actual best use of that tonight. Where, again, everything's kind of been a little bit in that middle range as well. And, you know, just a lot of consistency in the cadences. We at least get him breaking out of his cadence in a major way at the end of this. And then, you know, on the pre-chorus as well. So just a little bit of a flow here. We got a little intro, verse, mix-up, pre-chorus. You know, T.I., a true pro. Really giving us a full spectrum performance. Pause at the little intro of the song. Roscoe Dash, you got me thumbing so hard to turn my hand. Hey, yo, get me made like we in Japan. Floating these funds. We still ain't land. She canceled all my plans. Spotlight her. She in her bag. So shout out. Young Dro gets a bridge. Also verse 2. Shawty, you can get it. You ain't nothing but with it. I'm rushing to get it. I just want to touch it. Feel it. I'm stuck in my feelings. Ooh, chat. Okay, Young Dro. I see what you did there. I just want to touch it, feel it. I'm stuck in my feelings. You know, I'm lucky to hit it. And you know, ain't gotta leave the country. We stuck in the city. I feel like a fiend. You got me seeing my dreams. Let me put this crown on you, make you feel like a queen. Checking out the way you walk, how you fit in them jeans, trying to make you spot, fit on my team. I went alone. I had to put this. Oh, I want you alone. I had to put it in a song. When we on the phone, we poppin' for so long. Baby, I'm at you. Catch you, snatch you. What a bank account want to send. Oh, what a bank account you want to send them racks to. Chase you, lace you, take you. Oh, okay. So that took a turn there at the back half of the song. Okay. So I was going to say, shout out to the flow switch as well, too. Changing up T.I., but just kind of went off the rails at the end. I don't know if we need genius annotations on these last couple bars here. You know, we'll just go ahead and just say fictional world of the rap game, I guess. Not great, but T.I. was about to lose the verse up until that moment. I don't know if he quite would have had a worse overall verse, but just a little cleaner thought here, at least in the first 2/3 from our guy Young Dro. So it is what it is. Overly Trim is the next song, chat. Shout out to Strap as well, too, on the refrain, as well on the hook, I guess. It is what it is. But Overly Trim, we're back in our melodic bag. We're Quavo back on this track, and Young Dro, and a lot of features, chat. Hey, yo, this is by far the most stacked track of the day. Shad to God, Strap, Jose Guapo's back. Schoolie, and Ollie of Travis Porter. So wait a second, is Travis Porter a group? Oh, was Travis Porter the group of the people that we saw earlier? I don't remember. Or what we were talking about earlier, that we couldn't find their group name. Oh, well. It is what it is. But, yeah, we've got the posse cut. We've got the melodic posse cut. This is a fun beat. And, you know, Quavo, when he's in his melodic bag, he can have really fun melodic cadences. I don't know if his vocal performances are always one thing, but, you know, revisiting like Jack Boys, again, with Jack Boys 2 getting, and, you know, obviously, it's not the only reason to revisit it, it's just the new release. But in revisiting the original Jack Boys, his vocal performance on Had Enough, like, he catches a really great flow in one of his verses there and switches it up in a really, really fun way. So he does have, like, where, again, you can see, like, Kendrick will at times, you know, demo a lot of rap stuff or melodic stuff for people. Maybe he doesn't necessarily get in his bag himself the same way. Chat, this lady's face on TV, I don't even know what show this is, but it's like half cut up like the Joker. Is this... Wait a second. I don't even know what... Oh, what's this guy from, chat? He's from one of those like CW shows. I think he might be in Riverdale. I don't remember what he's... I remember watching the first season of that. Hey, yo, shout out. First season, not bad. I guess... I remember, well, I should say liking the first season of that because I guess we know the first season's not bad because the other seasons are maybe a little bad. But first one's not bad. But I think maybe 2 were... I don't remember exactly how much we watched after that. But the first one's okay, again. But I don't remember what this guy plays in that. But I think that... Because I don't think he was in any of the superhero shows that we watched. Because we actually watched a good chunk of, like, Arrow, for sure. So we would have remembered in that. But what show is this here real quick? Let me see. Oh, of course. Hit the wrong button. Let me see. Whatever was on TNT after Fast 5. I can't believe we just watched basically all of Fast 5 and didn't mention it. But we're true pros, chat. It is what it is. Oh, Peacemaker. This is Peacemaker. Okay, so the lady's face in Peacemaker was really throwing me off there for a second. It is what it is. But, yeah, I don't even remember what we were talking about at this point. So, shout out to this track. Overly trim. Oh, we were talking about Quavo. Yeah, Quavo is can get in a good bag at some point. Hot take for Quavo. It is what it is. But partying and drinking. So Futuristic Summa. Oh, here we go, chat. We knew it was gonna happen. 21 Savage, Future, and one more feature on this one unlisted. Oh, Waka Flocka. We got 21 Savage, Future, and Waka Flocka Flame. On the track, we know that Future was in the booth, and we know that Metro was going to make us wait. So here we go, chat. We should have guessed it's a track called Partying and Drinking. It was got Future on it. Hey, yo. Hot take. Probably he's like, Future, what do you want to name this track? Let's just call it Partying and Drinking. Wait, is this 21? 21 and Waka Flocka? Oh, all 3? Speaking of posse cuts on the chorus together. We're not getting necessarily, again, then dropping bars, some crooning. What's going on here? Let's lock in on the mute. Yeah, I don't know if this is like a 90s R&B type cut, but it feels like it's going in those type of vibes for whatever the beat sample is here. It is, that little slower, little laid back. Do we got a hook here? Is this Future on the hook? Hey. Yeah, that might be like the best Future's vocals have ever been processed. I'm not exactly sure, chat. I thought they sound like Ty Dolla $ign almost for a second. So, yeah, I don't even remember what point I was going to make before that. Just shout out to Future. It is what it is. But yeah, I guess, leading to, I guess, what we were going to say was you're going to get more crooning Future on this maybe. And I guess maybe it's just us having it. Do we have to go earbuds out and see what we had? I guess I'm calling it impressive because I thought I was going to have to double check and see if Ty Dolla $ign was not featured. And I think Ty Dolla $ign's got good vocals, right? Like if you sound like Ty Dolla $ign, you don't necessarily sound bad. I think if you're like Future sounding like Ty Dolla $ign, you'd be like, yeah, this means he sounded pretty good. And again, not like, oh, Ty Dolla $ign level bars. Obviously, Future's Future. But in terms of the actual flow that he hit there, and we're getting a Future verse as well too. I mean, perfect, chat. So I don't know if this is, well, I guess it's not because they just were recording this. But again, this feels a little bit in that still like we still don't trust you type lane as well. Yeah, where Future would have these kind of quick flows over the slower part of the beat. And it wouldn't be that much of a switch, but it would be just enough to give it some good variety in the song. And it's not quite like a double time, but it's just a little bit of a quicker pace over some of the slower part of the track. And this is a very vibey track as well, too. If it was like a little bit faster, you could. I feel like I wonder the drive time to this. I don't know if it's more drivable, if it's just a touch faster. But this is close. Maybe this is not a drive time song, chat. Hey, yo. Speaking of turning the Lambo into the room, I don't know if then you play this song at this point. Slow things down. Hey, yo, a little Future. And let's slow things down and play some Future. Has anybody ever said that? I think so, Chad. I think I maybe have said that a couple times. But, hey, yo, it is what it is. But just slow this down and play some Future. Do we have to do like a rap TV post of like, you know, is this valid? Let's slow this down and play some Playboy Cardi. Slow this down and play some, you know, whoever. There may be some definite. It's like, okay, well, let's not. Maybe that's not the right vibe here. But yeah, Future obviously great for any setting. So I don't think anybody's going to complain about any time that Future is being played. But this is a fun track. Are we getting, you know, I guess us being robbed of sort of a Future aux banger wouldn't be the worst. Wouldn't be a robbery as well, too. Anytime there's Future in Metro, it's going to be great. But, oh, Lil Baby and Young L.A. on the track called Love and Basketball. Okay, so why is it called Love and Basketball? Is it in reference to the movie? It's called Jerry Curry. Oh, I was going to say Jerry Curl, but Jerry Curry? Jerry West. Shout out. Jerry 80 Ball, maybe? Is that what the reference is? Jerry West? Jerry West and Steph Curry? Oh, Jerry Rice. 80 Ball. I'm an idiot. Bay Area legends. I guess I was thinking basketball legends, but Bay Area legends. Okay. Jerry 80 Ball. That's why we can't react to stuff, chat. Because it's like, oh, obviously Jerry 80 Ball is Jerry West. Hey, yo. Literally, what was he, like number 44? So, not even double what 80 Ball is. More than that. But Curry 30 Ball. Oh, and it literally says right after that, NBA, NFL. Nah, this basketball. Yeah, for real. Jerry Rice, 80 Ball. Curry, 30 Ball. NFL, NBA. Nah, this basketball. Flew her overseas. Then we go Love and Basketball. Ooh, so there we go. That is a reference, chat. Because, of course, spoiler alert, and we did do the Love and Basketball watch-along for the 25th anniversary when that happened back in April. So that is on the channel as well, too. And like we were saying earlier, that would be available on the podcast feeds if you want to search it that way. But, of course, Sanaa Lathan's character does go overseas as well. Did I say Nia Long earlier, chat? Hey, yo, it is what it is. Sanaa Lathan's character does, what was I thinking about earlier today with Nia Long in it? I'm going to forget. Maybe I was just thinking about Nia Long. It is what it is. But, did I reference Nia Long in something else? I guess I just remember saying Nia Long earlier, but I also remember saying Love and Basketball. So hopefully we got that lined up right. But hey, yo, cancel me now, chat. It is what it is. Yikes. But, Sanaa Lathan's character does go overseas in that movie. So, you know, regardless, flew her overseas. So I guess, you know, she goes overseas, of course. She's not being, it would be more her flying Quincy overseas at that point. Because, again, she's over there playing. She's the one playing basketball overseas. So it'd be flew him overseas, Love and Basketball? I don't know. But, lean, go out the gym. Blew a 30 like Adderall. Truey, Robin Denham. I can still afford them all. Tell that boy you gonna hit him back. You here with the fogs. Passing her to my brother at a disher like Chris Paul. Whoa, Chad, is that like a little Chris Cliff Paul reference? Or are we making stuff up there? Now we're genius annotating. You know she eating it up. She got tough on my top drawers. Hey, yo, chat. Tall frog? Big dog? Can't do nothing small? This is Young LA, I guess. So shout out. That was that was also Young LA. On the chorus. Oh, okay. Shout out. So Curry, 30, Jerry Rice, Chris Paul, Love and Basketball, all referenced in the chorus. But in the verse, we get tall frog, big dog, can't do nothing small, staring me, no punkin' me, it's on us, never off. Baby, be my line down. She trying to get the law. In the club, she was jumping us. Now she want to F with the boss? Woo, chat. How you ball 5 times 10. Frog you little again. Wait, where's the little baby verse? Okay, here we go. I've been balling hard. I've been balling hard. Know how to pull up new Ferrari, old school, half a ticket. Don't let her get far. She know how to get me. Oh, I'm doing a paper chase. I don't have, me and my quota bigger. That's the best part. 100 racks in there. Got 29. I ball hard. We going all around the world, living like rock stars. Overseas, earn up stores. Every boutique in Paris and Atlanta. Round 285 to Australia. That is something that I think Lil Baby can do well in his verses is reference locations and like kind of spin different locations together, which is something that of course a lot of people do. But I think Lil Baby's flow, and he can drop some cities, and the way he can say some fun words as well too, I think it works. But Paris, Atlanta, Australia aren't necessarily the most fun like cities to say, I guess, cadence wise here, but you know, this is not a bad Lil Baby verse as well too. So shout out as well too. Outro by Desi Banks. Hey yo, I'm ready to have fun again. I swear, telling Parlay like I've been telling Metro like this whole time. We need to get going. Metro, come on now. So Ayo, pause. But I Need Where You From is the last track. Waka Flocka Flame, Lil Baby, and 4 more. Whoa, Waka Flocka, Lil Baby, 2 Chainz, Schoolie, Roscoe Dash, J Money. All featured on the outro track. Dropping little mini verses. Roscoe Dash up first. Waka Flocka literally just saying, I'm south side, I'm north side, I'm east side, I'm west side. Hey, that might be the best part of the song, honestly. And then he just cuts back in again. I'm south side, I'm north side, I'm east side. I've been getting the orders wrong. It is what it is. But that might be the win of the album. Shout out Waka Flocka. He continues to win. So, and Lil Baby back as well, too. Hit him on the back, make her look at me. I think she cute. Had a house party. Got it going up on a Tuesday. We gonna have a time doing what we want. She know what I like middle of the day. She send me nudes. I just like to see her a couple hours ago. I miss her. Put her in a blender. She's a G6er. Hey yo, shout out. A lot of pretty women. I'm a big pusher. Where's the liquor? Where's the hookah? I feel like we need to listen. You always need to listen to how big, Big Baby. Hey yo, how Lil Baby, how he executes the flows. So I don't know if we were doing him justice there, reading it as he's just, you know, rapping along. We should just be listening to his performance. But I want to hear Waka Flocka go. Oh, here we go. I'm east side. I'm west side. A second, there's a Waka Flocka verse. I should have just kept scrolling. Where's the Waka Flocka verse? Wait, is this not Waka Flocka? Who is this? Who's talking about? Oh, 2 Chainz. I'm an idiot. 2 Chainz. One of those legendary guys. I'm getting them all mixed up. So we got the Waka Flocka into the 2 Chainz. Yeah, the 2 Chainz. Once again, every album 2 Chainz is on. 2 Chainz has the best verses. Outside Future and 2 Chainz, 2 best performances on initial reactions. And this was 24 songs, so I'm not going to remember everything on the first time through. But, like I said, it was fun. And the mental aspect of the 2 discs definitely gave me a nice break. That was a smart move for Metro for sure. The vibe between the 2 was unique enough, and I liked, like we were saying, everything about Disc 1's flow production. And the execution of the features and sort of the moments on Disc 2 was a win. And a little bit shorter as well, too, so it can be more kind of moment stacked a little bit as well. But yeah, shout out Future, shout out 2 Chainz as well too, and shout out to all these new guys. You know, like I'm saying, this is not the, you know, I'm sure, you know, Sam's better at keeping up with newer music than I am, so I'm sure he's probably familiar with a lot of these cast of characters, some of these guys as well too, and some of these names as well too. Like, again, I'm not like totally unfamiliar with the names, but their catalog and abilities and things like that are not necessarily things that I would know too much about going into this performance. So everybody, you know, did a, you know, great job, everybody. Chat, shout out. It is what it is. But yeah, it was a fun introduction to all these guys, and I think, you know, probably kind of the point as well too for Metro to shine some light on some people in this way. You know, we were complimenting, or we're saying that how Tyler sort of was moving like Kendrick in sort of the, hey, I'm gonna throw the conceptual out thing and kind of just have fun, which again, you know, Metro as well too. Metro again has been sort of conceptual narrative based in a lot of his projects, like we were saying beforehand as well. Even the fact that like the last one was like, okay, we're just gonna diss Drake the whole time, and it'll just be a product about how we don't trust Drake. Like, there's still a theme there. It is what it is. But the again, he is following as everybody is, that Kendrick mold of just, hey, let's just brand this as let's just have fun and dance. And he is also taking the advantage as well too to put people on, like we're saying, to another era, another segment of artists that maybe people that kind of just gravitate more to some of the mainstream, and like we're saying, like myself, kind of just like mainstream guys all throughout history, instead of just like, let's just focus on the new guys. Like, good way to introduce some of the new names to a potentially new audience as well too. Or, again, just names that I'm not familiar with, so maybe legendary names in some cases as well too. Yeah. Who's this future guy? Is he a legend of the game that we don't know about? Hey, yo, it is what it is. But yeah, so shout out to the performances as well. But the ones and Quavo had some good moments, if I remember correctly, on this album as well. Shout out, I don't think this was meant to be the most, and that's always a weird thing to say, is like, what does that mean when this is not meant to be the most well-produced Metro album? I don't think that's the correct way to say it. I don't think this is supposed to be the most complicated produced Metro Boomin album. And again, the production a lot of times as well too is obviously going to be enhanced by not just the performances on the tracks, but the cadences and the flows and those type of things that can add a production element, not just like a song type element as well too. So like we're saying, when Future is swooping in with his performances, you can see those elements in full effect. And you get the melodic stuff from a lot of guys as well too in this, so there is some singy stuff going on to add some vocal fullness to these beats as well too. But otherwise, Metro does have, for his own credit as well, and as a producer, and to have some collab, a lot of like I said, the last two are branded with Future. The ones earlier on were branded with, he's got 21 Savage, he's got Offset, he's got Big Sean. He's had work with, he's always kind of had some branded work with some other artists. So his actual solo discography, which really would be, I guess, just heroes and villains of this, because not all heroes wear capes, is a 21 Savage album as well too, at least listed on Spotify that way. For some reason I was thinking that was, and maybe that's just I'm just getting because of the titles. Hey yo, like, okay, obviously I'm a genius, but I was thinking that was a Metro studio album, and then like a solo studio album. But no, obviously it's listed on both pages as well too. So wait, here, let me go to because again, Spotify can be a little weird with this as well. Let me see what it has listed on Wikipedia for his studio catalog. I guess point being, he has one of the best, most concise, high quality studio catalogs that a producer or just any person in the industry has put together as well too. So for his discography, yeah, it features numerous guests. Yeah, see on Wiki, I guess that's probably where it was. I just looked at it here at one point and just had this stuck in my mind, because it's got it divided. Well, I guess here I can switch the page over as well too, now that we're done listening to them. So yeah, you can see how it's got it divided up into collaborative albums, and again, it's just the Wiki. Hey, yo, shout out. But just so I guess you guys can see where I'm looking at it, the collaborative albums and then the studio albums. So it's got Not All Heroes and Heroes and Villains, both listed as studio albums. But then, of course, Without Warning, Perfect Timing, Double or Nothing, and even, of course, the future albums, like we're saying, listed with collaborative. And Jidtro, the Jid album that hopefully drops at some point, but who knows? We'll see. But yeah, between those two, again, that's really, and I guess now, the mixtape anyways, I don't know what we technically call this, but, the mixtape with, we'll call it a mixtape for his own sake, with a Futuristic Summa as well in there. So it's a really stacked discography to be added into, but it's going to be fun to add into the rotation, which is always going to be, again, the main thing. Are there songs in here added to the rotation? Yes, I'm telling you, again, the future songs, some of the 2 Chainz stuff is going to be immediate add. Not necessarily like I'm saying, I'm probably going to have to revisit again to double check what I need to put into the playlist, not necessarily, adding stuff in right away. But still, stuff will get added in. Stuff will make the rotation. Artist performances will, as we continue to re-listen, will definitely age well for sure. So we are not worried about that. But let's double check here and see if we can see what is popping in the playlist potentially early on. Future Metro Boom, Rap Caviar. Does this have any hits in it? What has this got? Okay. Oh, They All Want to Have Fun. Wait, which one was this, Chad? Oh, wait, which one was the K-pop one? Butterflies? Okay. That one, They All Want to Have Fun. Is this disc 1? Oh, this is early on in the track list. Shout out. This is actually, this is the one we have on right now. Ayo. It is what it is. Take Me There. Take Me Through There is on there. Drip Barbecue making a push on here. Let's see what else we got. Maybe just those so far. So, I mean, again, a couple for sure. So, at least still in the mix. And I guess day of, no surprise, we'll see the staying power of the Metro Boomin album as well. But solid project, chat. Gonna have fun re-listening to this one in the fall for sure, and the summer of 2026. Futuristic summer of 2026. Absolutely. Because that's not to say that we won't listen to it in 2025. It's just summer's over, chat. It's August. Which, again, means football's around the corner. College football's around the corner. We're almost out of the sports drought? There it is. We're almost out of the sports drought at this point. But we still got a couple more weeks to go. So the REMINGTOM pod, we will, be putting along until then. Waiting for the start of the NFL season. Waiting for albums. Waiting for Joey's album to drop, which, speaking of delays, should have been dropped today. But apparently he just missed time to date on that one. He's like, whoop, not coming out today, apparently. Album said we're pushing it back. Or label said we're pushing it back. So shout out our guy Joey. Hopefully he's able to work it all out. And hopefully it was just like, actually the label was just like, literally was just like, actually we're probably going to release it next week. Which, is a tough move. But regardless, means that there's not, as long as there's not a lot of steps for us getting the album, again, you don't want to just keep pushing us back. Like, oh, the label thinks now they know how to build anticipation. It's like, no, just drop the album, get it out there. You know what? Now, you know how you make money? Yeah, you drop the product at some point. But it will. If again, it means there's less steps, then it means we're close. We will actually end up getting it. So hopefully next week will be Joey's album. And worst case scenario, again, we had Metro focus tonight. So I guess. Well, actually, chat, next week, I'm not thinking of the schedule, will be Jid's album, of course. Assuming there's no delays with that. You imagine with the rollout and the timing in Dreamville? Like, is Dreamville going to step in? I guess maybe, I don't know, I can't remember exactly who Dreamville is. Is that Universal or something? I don't know. But maybe if that just randomly gets pushed back all of a sudden at this point. But hopefully not. Fingers crossed. We only have a week to go, so we'll see if we get next Friday. We're reacting to the Jid album. It is what it is. But we will be here Sunday. Like I said, I guess NFL training camp notebook dump to start. It is what it is. But we been sifting through some news, so there's some fun stuff happening at this point. I didn't think I would get sucked into training camp news. Ayo, pouch. But it is what it is. I just was like, well, let me look up this one thing, and then that one thing led to another thing, and then another thing led to another thing. So, it is what it is. Next thing you know, we're like, I guess I have a whole stack of train camp notes at this point. But tonight was about Metro Boomin's album. So, shout out, chat. Fun stuff all the way around. We are being well-fed in the music industry right now, and just well-fed tonight in general. Metro Boomin was not the only project to drop. We should shout out some of these other projects as well too before we go, because I think, speaking of 2 Chainz might have had his own album dropping as well. Here, actually, let's just go to 2 Chainz. Why not just go to 2 Chainz page at this point? I mean, come on, chat. If there is not a Legends page that we should be on more, I mean, it should just be our guy 2 Chainz. I mean, shout out again. We have, we're just talking Spotify pages for these guys at this point. Anything else beyond that, I don't know. But I just don't know what's going on in their lives. It is what it is. But I recommend the 2 Chainz Spotify page. Chat, one of the great Spotify pages that we have. It is what it is. Good music from our guy 2 Chainz. So shout out. Wait, featured on recent run. I guess we're not looking for features. We're looking for his newest stuff. Latest single, See the World. Boss Man D-Lo. Life is Beautiful, Chopped Not Slopped? Okay. So wait, maybe it wasn't 2 Chainz then that dropped an album. Maybe I wanted it to be 2 Chainz, and it wasn't. But here, let's see actually, if we can find that schedule that I was looking at. And it might not be totally updated again. Last time I was looking at it, Joey's album was still on here, so it may, a couple albums may be off. But, yeah, I guess, is it on for next week? Or is it just TBD? Here, let's see if we can see Joey's album real quick. Does it just go back into TBD? I guess it does, chat. Hey, yo, shout out. It is what it is. Album delay. All they do is get in my way. So no date for that. That's tough. Shout out to guy Joey. Hopefully it's soon. But yeah, Baby Tron with Luka Doncic too. I mean, iconic stuff, chat. Baby Tron might be up there for naming albums. It is what it is. Megatron, of course. Bin Reaper, Old Testament, and Bin Reaper, New Testament. Megatron 2, The Tronicles, Sleeve Nash, Back to the Future, Lewis and Clark, Dookie Brothers, and then, of course, Luka Doncic, Mario and Luigi. I mean, just between Luka Doncic and Sleeve Nash is pretty elite stuff from our guy, Baby Tron. We got Homicide Gain, Homicide Lifestyle 2, Ayo, Juicy J, Head on a Swivel, Metro Boomin and DJ Spin, shout out. Sweetie, hello, Pressure Chat, Suicide Boys, whoa, for the ladies out there, Kingdom They Come. Oh, Thy Kingdom Come. Yeet, Dangerous Summer. I forgot about the Yeet EP. And then, maybe there was a 2 Chainz thing that I did saw. Maybe that got pushed back as well, too. We shall see. But should we see this Yeet EP real quick? Okay, in honor of our guy Sam, let's queue up this Yeet EP and see what we got real fast. Oh, I was going to queue it up on my phone, but let me look it up here real quick and see what we've got. I think he did release a single or something already for this at some point. So, yeah, Dangerous Summer. Here we go, chat. Here we go. Put It On, Loco, Loose Leaf. Oh, here we go. I'm Yeet. I guess that's the name of his single. It is what it is. Whoa! We got a Don Toliver. Hey, yo. A Don Toliver and an FKA Twigs. Okay, chat. I don't know if we have time to listen to the full Yeet album, but we'll end this off by queuing up this Don Toliver and then FKA Twigs song real quick. I almost want to go FKA Twigs and then Don Toliver, but since we're already going, and Saw Baby as well too, I mean, there's some good features in the B side of this album. So I don't know. Here, wait. Let me just start with this I'm Yeet single and just skip through these last couple. Will the production will it entice me enough right off the bat to keep me in, I guess. Pause. We'll see. We've got almost like with the way Juice WRLD introed his album. Again, this is not the album intro, but that's the intro to this song almost right here with the crowd cheering. Okay, Yeet. Okay. I guess we don't really know his discography enough to compare it to other productions, but I remember the one album he dropped with the Burning Horse. Yeah, the Burning Horses. You know, that album was going crazy. So this album, this already feels a little bit, yeah, even from that, a little bit more, you don't want to say toned down, but I don't know if traditional is the right word. Feels more in a lane of something familiar. Where I guess I don't know if that's good or bad. You know, Yeet kind of being a one-on-one was what made him stood out in a way. But, yeah, it's not bad, chat. I'm into it. Pause. Ooh. Okay, a little drum pattern here on this one's kind of fun. Saw Baby, you imagine, gives a good feature. Okay, it is what it is. I gotta listen to my guy Don Toliver. Shout out. We're locking in. Muted it up. I mean, how are these vocals even going to go together, chat? It is what it is. But Don Toliver's vocals pairs on any beat with any song. So even with Yeet, it works, I'm sure. But he's starting us off here. It's a win. Nice mellow Yeet production to start. Or I guess, Yeet picked beat. I don't know if he actually is credited on here. with production. Oh, BNYX producing with Jahan Sweet and Yeet as well too. So nice beat selection for Don Toliver. A little chill. Again, because he can kind of get vocally dynamic, you can kind of have a beat that does a little bit of stuff with it, but this sets it for just an easier Don Toliver performance as well too. It doesn't necessarily feel like you need to get too bar-ish with it. You know, you can kind of get a little melodic as well. Yeah, there we go, Chad. There's that Don Toliver flow right there. Okay. I see the vision, chat. Two-tone? I guess, do we need lyrics on this? This would be a good song with a potential beat switch as well, too. I don't know if we're going to get it. And you're really giving Don Toliver some run as well, too, which is good. Again, I mean, shout out to Yeet. And different types of vocal performances, but Don Toliver definitely a little bit more traditionally, you know, probably skilled, quote unquote. So just kind of letting him cook, not having to worry too much about them necessarily like meshing and chemistry and back and forth. But him in production. So I guess, you know, what do we want? A Don Toliver single on a Yeet album? I mean, yes, for one. But also, you know, just a smarter way to use him as a feature as well too. So yeah, we get Yeet in at the 2:15 mark. I don't know if that was the first time that we get Yeet, but now I'm locked in paying attention for Yeet, so that's the first time since then. Anyways, it is what it is. Kind of sets himself up for a little bit of a cry out vocal performance here in a way. You know, again, I don't know if you want to set yourself up for trying to keep up with Don Toliver, but for keeping up with the emotion of the song, definitely. Oh, we go back to that low Yeet flow. Okay, see, that's what we want, because Don Toliver can balance you out with some of the higher, again, flowy. He's gonna do some vocal rangy type stuff, and he's gonna, like, I don't know what you call it, but like the gliding vocals between the notes and stuff. He's just gonna give you some of that dynamic stuff where, again, then Yeet can kind of come in with the punchy bassline voice at times and give you that delivery, because that contrast would be good. And maybe on a beat where they could, again, pick up the pace with the vocals a little bit. I don't know, we're just in a bouncier mood tonight, Chad. It is what it is. We just need these beats to be sometimes a little bit faster, but that would be a good mix-up opportunity for them as well too. So Fly Night with FKA Twigs, this could be crazy. And again, I don't know his discography to know if he's collaborated with Toliver and Twigs specifically. Toliver and Twigs, our new buddy cop film on Tubi soon. But we got like a little vocal chop here to start. This could be interesting. Okay. You know, vocal chops get us in there. Okay, what do we got here, Chad? Something very... Ooh, we got like a nice little punchy bass drum situation. Not those overpowering, like, big drums that you always get sometime in the Yeet stuff, but, you know, that boom, 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 boom. There's a little more, like, ring out type stuff, hollowy, reverby thing going on here. That's a nice balance. Yeah, this is a fun kind of cruiser-ish vibe. You know, I don't want to say this is given Dodger Blue type vibes, because it's not Dodger Blue, but it's, and again, I guess we haven't listened to this full album, but I could see this being like the Dodger Blue of the album in a way, where there is kind of that cruiser bum 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 vibe thing going on here, but it's a little darker, a darker Dodger Blue, chat. Hey, yo, it is what it is. Is that the Clippers? I'm not exactly certain. I don't think there's a Clipper-Dodger crossover. Make no mistake. I think maybe is there an Anaheim-Clippers crossover at this point? What is the location between Anaheim and Inglewood? Hey, yo, it is what it is. Wait, does Peacemaker have a red pill, blue pill situation? Wait, are you allowed to do that? Hey, yo, shout out the Matrix. Shout out our guy Keanu. It is what it is. James Gunn. I thought you had some original ideas here. I guess he's making comic book stuff. It is what it is. But FKA Twigs, here we go. Ooh, and the beat switch for the Twigs vocals. Uh-oh, chat. She might be wiping down Don Tolliver right now. I think she just got him in like the first 2 bars. I mean, shout out our guy Don Tolliver, but I feel like Twigs is a little bit more suited for Yeet production. But Tolliver on this would be good. I think this beat, again, it's a little quicker, so I think this is just a better beat for this. Because it's a nice contrast to a good vocal flow. You kind of hold the note, but the drums are kind of kicking in fast behind it, you know? It works, again, for Twigs' ability to just, her voice just float as well, too, where she's almost going to be balancing, like, is she the sample or is she the actual performance as well? You know, Tolliver can do that for sure, but, you know, he's a more punctuated vocal performance versus that kind of vibe. Chat, this might be better than anything. This song might be better than, this song might be the best song of the night, honestly. Hey, yo, shout out our guy Yeet. Shout out our guy. He's our guy now, chat. You drop one song with FKA Twigs that we like, and you're our guy. It is what it is. But Don T as well, too. I mean, it's just the summer of Don T in our Spotify. So that is, and it seems like it's just the summer of Don T for collaborators as well. You got to get Don T as a collaborator. And to get his vocals are just unique for an album. So you got to have them in the album experience. There's not a lot of people in hip-hop that at least, you know, again, can kind of provide what Tolliver can provide. I know it's like, there is, you know, getting to the R&B lanes and stuff. And I mean, you know, Tolliver is that as well. But otherwise, there is, you know, a unique thing that he can bring to the environment. And he's definitely adding to this album. But FKA Twigs, chat, shout out. Great performance here on this. So, yeah, great way to cap off the night and a great night of hip-hop. And you saw the schedule as well there, too. There is a ton of other stuff to dig into tonight and this weekend. And we are well fed. And August, July just continued to feed us as well. Oh, no, this is got to be The Matrix. Maybe Peacemaker is over, chat. What is this? Oh, this is Matrix Resurrections. Okay, I just assumed they were running like another episode of Peacemaker. But Matrix Resurrections, okay, shout out. They cut Keanu on the screen, and I was like, I mean, maybe they were stealing The Matrix, but I don't think they stole Keanu for the Peacemaker show. We might have watched if Keanu cameoed in the show. And if he does and we haven't watched it yet, my bad. But, yeah, shout out Metro, shout out the great album, shout out Yeet, shout out FKA Twig, shout out Don Tolliver. It is what it is. But we will be back, like I said, Sunday, hanging out. You guys can follow us here on the YouTube. You can find the live streams up on the podcast feeds as well, too. So you can have access to them and that type of platform as well. And if you want to message us at REMINGTOM Pod on Instagram, the DMs are open over there. So you can shoot us a little message. Say what's up. Say whatever you want. Say hi. I guess that's the same thing as what's up. But otherwise, we will say goodbye for now, chat. We need like a Mr. Rogers Neighborhood style outro. I don't know if we do, but maybe just an outro. Either one. But okay, there's a Chat GPT next time. Write us an outro in the style of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Goodbye and good luck from the REMINGTOM Pod. We will see you next time. Peace, chat.